There's something extraordinary, almost celestial, about being in the presence of a chosen one. You can feel it before they speak, before they smile, even before they look your way. It's not about charisma or charm. It's about energy. Their presence is a balm to wounded spirits. Their silence speaks volumes, and their gaze penetrates to the soul's deepest corners. They don't demand attention. They command peace. These are the people who love deeply without condition, who forgive even when forgiveness isn't asked for, who bring healing just by existing. But behind their grace lies a quiet fire, a storm held back by discipline, a spiritual strength hidden behind soft eyes and kind words. Because when a chosen one is provoked, betrayed, or spiritually violated, they do not simply react, they awaken. And what awakens is not ordinary emotion. It is something sacred, something ancient, a divine judgment that reshapes everything around it. Today we explore 8 profound reasons why chosen ones are the kindest souls you will ever meet, but also the most dangerous when provoked. Before beginning the video, let's subscribe, like this video, and stay with me until the end of this message, and you will understand why you were led here. This is your moment. 1. Their healing energy can warm you or burn you. There is something unmistakably sacred about the presence of a chosen one. It's not something you can always explain with words, it's something you feel. Their energy is soft yet powerful, gentle yet transformative. When they walk into a space, the atmosphere shifts. Tension eases, hearts soften. Without even trying, they bring comfort to the broken and calm to the restless. Their very presence feels like a breath of fresh air after a long storm. But their healing isn't passive. It's not simply about being nice. The peace they carry is the result of deep spiritual refinement. They've been through fire, and they carry light that heals because they've known darkness intimately. Being near them often feels like emotional cleansing, like your spirit is finally being held, seen, and restored. However, that same light that soothes can also confront. It exposes. It burns away illusions. Because true healing isn't just about comfort. It's about truth. The energy they carry doesn't just ease your pain. It brings everything hidden into the light. The lies you tell yourself, the masks you wear, the shadows you hide, nothing can stay buried in their presence. Many mistake this light for vulnerability, assuming chosen ones can be manipulated or taken advantage of. But make no mistake, their gentleness is not weakness. Their kindness is not a lack of awareness. The same healing energy that lifts others can also become a refining fire when faced with dishonesty, ego, or malice. Being loved by a chosen one is a gift, but if you betray that love, you'll be exposed by the truth they carry. And when their light turns toward you, anything fake or dishonest won't be able to hide. 2. Their patience isn't passive, it's divine discipline. At first glance, the patience of a chosen one might seem like indifference. They don't rush to correct, argue, or confront. They remain quiet even when wronged. But don't mistake their stillness for apathy. It is anything but passive. Their patience is intentional. It is the product of inner strength and spiritual clarity. Chosen ones understand the sacred rhythm of time. They know that not every lesson is taught with words, and not every battle is won through confrontation. They observe, they wait, and they allow others the space to grow, to come into alignment, to choose truth. Even when they are fully aware of betrayal or deceit, they do not act impulsively. Instead, they hold space for transformation, hoping the other person might awaken before it's too late. But their patience has a limit. It is not eternal. When that silent grace shifts, when the calm turns to quiet withdrawal, it is not a reaction of anger, but a sign that divine timing has reached its end. Their stillness becomes a signal. The season of mercy is closing. And when they do move, it's never for revenge. It's purpose-driven. They don't need to prove anything. They know who they are. Their decision to step back is often the most powerful message they'll ever send. In the end, their patience isn't weakness, it's wisdom, it's discipline. And when they finally act, the impact is undeniable because it's not just them moving, it's the divine moving through them. 3. When they snap, it's not anger, it's divine judgment. Chosen ones are not easily angered. Their hearts are anchored in deep emotional maturity, and their spirits are attuned to peace. They have endured more than most, often carrying wounds in silence and forgiving long before apologies are offered. But when their boundaries are crossed too many times, when their grace is taken for granted and their soul repeatedly violated, what rises in them is not ordinary anger. It's something sacred, something weighty. Their outburst, if it comes, is not impulsive. It is prophetic. It is not fueled by ego, but by alignment with divine truth. In those rare moments when they finally speak out, their words pierce deeper than any weapon. They don't just express pain, they unveil it. They don't shout to be heard, they speak to awaken. When a chosen one reaches their limit, their words carry deep truth. They're not trying to hurt anyone, they're simply speaking what can no longer be hidden. And when that truth comes out, it doesn't just reveal the pain, it pushes change. 4. They protect everyone, including themselves. Chosen ones carry a natural instinct to protect. Chosen ones carry a natural instinct to protect. They are the quiet guardians in a noisy world, the ones who step in when others step back. They shield the broken, defend the innocent, and stand firm against injustice without ever needing recognition. Their love is not passive, it is protective, rooted in a sacred calling to bring peace where there is pain and strength where there is fear. But what many overlook is this: the same fierce devotion they offer others, they also extend to themselves. Chosen ones do not abandon their own spirit for the sake of pleasing others. They are deeply aware of their energy, their peace, and the sacredness of their inner space. When someone repeatedly disrespects their boundaries or disrupts their spiritual alignment, they won't argue, they will quietly step away. This isn't coldness, it's clarity. They know that protection isn't just about defending others from harm, it's also about honoring their own worth. The same strength they use to shield others becomes the sword they use to guard their own soul, because a chosen one understands. If their light is to keep shining for the world, they must never let it be dimmed by those who do not value it. 5. Their silence is louder than screaming and far more destructive. When deeply hurt or betrayed, chosen ones don't lash out. They don't argue, plead, or seek to be understood. Instead, they retreat into silence, and that silence is far more powerful than any outburst could ever be. Because their silence speaks. It speaks of boundaries crossed, of trust broken, of grace that has finally run its course. It doesn't scream. It echoes. And in its echo is a mirror that forces others to confront what their presence once protected. The peace that followed them disappears, and what's left is the unrest that had always been there, now exposed. Chosen ones don't need to raise their voice to make a statement. Their absence is the statement. The warmth they brought, the calm they carried, the invisible safety they offered, it all leaves with them. And suddenly, everything starts to unravel. They do not withdraw to punish. They withdraw to preserve. And in doing so, they allow truth, consequence, and divine justice to take over. Their silence is not weakness. It's wisdom. It is the final sacred boundary. When they go quiet, it's not because they've given up. It's because they've already said all that needed to be said, without speaking a single word. 6. Their intuition is a spiritual weapon chosen. Ones don't just sense what others overlook, they see it. Their intuition is not guesswork. It's spiritual insight sharpened through experience, prayer, and deep inner alignment. They read energy the way others read facial expressions. They feel what's not being said, and they discern the truth behind even the most polished lies. They may remain quiet, choosing not to confront immediately. But don't confuse their silence for ignorance. They know more than they let on. In moments of tension or deceit, they pick up on the unspoken, the slight shifts in tone, the masked intentions, the subtle manipulations. It's as if their soul is wired to detect truth beneath layers of disguise, and when the time comes to speak, they do so with clarity and calm, but their words land with force. They don't argue or attack, they reveal. With just a few sentences, they can expose what others have tried to bury, even from themselves. Not to shame, but to awaken. This is why toxic people feel uneasy around them. It's not fear of confrontation, it's fear of exposure. Because to stand before a chosen one is to stand before truth itself. And when truth becomes a weapon, it cuts straight to the soul. 7. Their mercy is vast, but not infinite. The heart of a chosen one beats with compassion. They are among the first to forgive, the last to walk away, and often the only ones praying for the very people who hurt them. They see the pain beneath the behavior, the wound behind the betrayal. Their love is patient, and their mercy runs deep. But even divine patience has its limit. Chosen ones may offer chance after chance, not out of naivety, but because they believe in healing. They hope for redemption. They give people room to grow, not because they're blind, but because they know that true change takes time. Yet, there comes a moment when mercy is no longer alignment. It becomes self-betrayal. And when that threshold is crossed, something shifts. Quietly, firmly, without drama. They don't slam doors. They close them gently, but for good. And when they step away, so does the spiritual covering they carried. The peace, the prayers, the unseen protection, all lifted. What once shielded someone from the weight of consequence is suddenly gone. That's when people realize they weren't just dealing with a kind person. They were held by someone spiritually sent. And when that covering lifts, life teaches what grace once softened. 8. Their presence changes the atmosphere. For better or worse. A chosen one doesn't just enter a room, they shift it. Their energy is not loud or boastful, but it's undeniably powerful. Without saying a word, they bring stillness to chaos, calm to tension, and light to confusion. People may not understand why they suddenly feel more at peace or more open, but it's the spiritual frequency they carry. They are vessels of divine energy, and that energy brings balance, order, and unseen protection. Conversations become clearer. Emotions settle. Hearts open. The atmosphere simply feels better. But that same presence, when provoked or unsettled, can have the opposite effect. When their peace is disturbed, the harmony around them begins to fracture. The room may feel heavier, conversation may stall, and people grow uneasy without knowing why. It's not just emotion, it's spirit. Their soul is so attuned that any spiritual dissonance sends ripples through the environment. This is why even their silence carries weight. Their energy speaks louder than their voice ever could. To be in their presence is to feel something sacred, whether comforting or confronting. Because a chosen one doesn't just live in the world, they shift the very atmosphere around them. To encounter a chosen one is to stand in the presence of something both tender and unshakable. Their kindness is not weakness, it is wisdom wrapped in grace. Their silence holds more truth than 1,000 words, and their patience is a reflection of divine timing, not hesitation. They are healers, protectors, truth-tellers, quiet forces of transformation sent not to dominate but to awaken. But never mistake their gentleness for fragility. Beneath their compassion lies sacred fire, and when provoked beyond their spiritual threshold, that fire rises, not to destroy, but to reveal, not to condemn, but to correct. So honor the chosen ones in your life. Their presence is not ordinary, it is purposeful, and if you are one, this is your reminder. Your light is powerful, your grace is rare, and the strength you carry in silence is not only seen by heaven, it is protected by it. Walk softly, but never forget the fire you carry. There is a moment in every chosen one's life when the world no longer makes sense the way it used to. When the noise fades, and something powerful, almost ancient, begins to stir from deep within. It's not loud, it's not obvious, but it's undeniable. This is that moment. You, the soul forged in silence and tested in fire, are no longer the same. The world may still see you through the lens of who you were, but they can feel the change, even if they can't name it. It's not just growth, it's not just survival, it's transformation. They see the shift in your eyes, hear it in your silence, feel it in your presence. The truth is, your glow isn't on the way, it's already here. Before beginning the video, let's subscribe, like this video, and stay with me until the end of this message, and you will understand why you were led here. This is your moment. They may look at you now and wonder what changed. Some assume it's your appearance, your style, your glow, your posture. But what they're witnessing isn't surface level. It's the radiance of someone who was refined in silence and shaped by struggle. This isn't a makeover, it's a rebirth. You didn't rise because you followed trends or mimicked what was popular. You rose because you endured what others couldn't. Every ounce of strength you carry wasn't gifted. It was earned in the fires of rejection, betrayal, and quiet nights of deep self-reflection. The glow they see now? It came from within, from pain that didn't break you, but built you. And the irony? While they were watching for your downfall, your roots were growing deeper. You were transforming where no one could see, inwardly, spiritually, and eternally. Now that you've emerged, their confusion is loud, but your transformation is louder. They can imitate your look, your words, your walk, but they'll never replicate your spirit. Because you were not fashioned by trends, you were forged by truth, and that makes your presence not just beautiful, but unshakable. There was a time you tried to shrink, fitting yourself into the comfort zones of others, making yourself smaller so they wouldn't feel insecure. You softened your truth, dulled your shine, and wore humility like armor. But no more. The truth is, your light was never meant to be hidden. It was meant to illuminate. And now, as your spirit awakens and your energy expands, you're realizing that your very presence changes the atmosphere. You walk into a room, and something shifts. Conversations quiet. Eyes turn. Not because of your outfit or your voice, but because your essence enters first. Your light speaks before you do. It isn't arrogance, it's awareness. You've discovered who you are, and that self-knowing radiates in ways that can't be explained, only felt. Some may call it intimidating, others mysterious, but what they're really sensing is your alignment. You no longer blend in because you weren't created to. You were made to stand out, not for praise, but for purpose. So stop dimming your light to make others comfortable. Let it shine unapologetically. Because when you walk fully in your truth, your presence becomes unforgettable. In a world that celebrates imitation, your refusal to pretend is what sets you apart. While others wear borrowed identities like costumes, chasing trends, reshaping themselves to be accepted, you show up as you are, no mask, just truth. That truth, though quiet, commands the room. You don't need to announce your authenticity. It radiates from you like warmth in winter, subtle yet undeniable. And while others scramble for applause, your stillness draws attention without effort. You're not trying to be different. You simply are, and that alone makes you unforgettable. Authenticity doesn't shout. It resonates. It doesn't beg for approval. It stands in confidence. Most people fear being seen without their layers, but you've stopped hiding. You've let your wounds breathe, let your story live, and in doing so, you've become magnetic, not because you seek validation, but because you embody liberation. Your authenticity is not rebellion, it's remembrance. a return to who you were before the world told you to become someone else. And that remembrance is powerful. It shakes people awake. It inspires some, unsettles others, but it always leaves a mark. Because real is rare. And you, just by being real, are changing everything. You've always known things without being told. While others listen to what's said, you hear what's left unsaid. You feel the tension in a glance, the ache behind a smile, the storm hiding beneath silence. It's not guesswork. It's your gift. Your intuition is not just a skill. It's a sacred language that doesn't require words. And while it may unsettle those who prefer masks, it comforts those longing to be seen. Because with you, they are seen. Not just for who they pretend to be, but for who they really are beneath the surface. You don't expose people. You reveal truth through presence. That's what makes you unforgettable. People come to you without knowing why. Strangers open up. Friends feel safe in your silence. It's not that you ask the right questions. It's that your energy gives them permission to drop their walls. You mirror back to them the emotions they've buried deep, and the ones who fear being known? They'll call you intense, maybe even too much. But the truth is, you're just deeply tuned in. You feel what others overlook. You sense what they suppress. That's not sensitivity. It's spiritual perception, and it's part of what makes your presence powerful beyond words. You no longer need to explain yourself. You don't raise your voice, don't draw lines with words, but somehow, people know. They feel it. There's a shift in your energy, a quiet authority that speaks louder than any confrontation ever could. This is what happens when you begin to honor your worth. You've stopped entertaining what drains you. Stop justifying your silence or defending your decisions to those who never truly listened. Now, when someone enters your space, they sense the difference. It's not coldness, it's clarity, a spiritual signal that says, this is sacred ground. You no longer allow chaos to cross your threshold, not because you're guarded, but because you finally understand the value of peace. Your presence itself draws a line that says, only what aligns may remain, and those who once took advantage of your kindness now tread carefully, not because you've become harsh, but because your energy no longer bends for comfort. It stands in truth. That's the power of an unspoken boundary. The strongest walls aren't built from bricks. They're built from self-respect. And the people who once mistook your silence for weakness now see it for what it truly is. Strength, grounded and immovable. You didn't announce your evolution. You didn't need to. The shift within you spoke volumes before you ever said a word. Real transformation never begs to be seen. It simply becomes impossible to ignore. There's a new presence about you now. It's in your eyes, in your stillness, in the way you move through the world with quiet confidence. People may say you look different, but it's not your appearance that changed. It's your energy. Your light isn't cosmetic. It's cosmic. You've grown in silence, healed in solitude, and risen in ways most can't understand. While they were watching for signs on the outside, the real glow-up happened on the inside. That glow? It's the soft fire of someone who's met themselves in the dark and chose to rise with grace. They can't place what shifted, but they feel it. It's not style, it's spirit. You no longer walk in the room seeking space. You own it without trying. And while some are drawn to it, others are intimidated by it. Because deep down they know. What you carry can't be faked, copied, or taken. You didn't transform for applause. You transformed for alignment. And now, you glow because you've become who you were always meant to be. In a world that rushes to speak, you've mastered the rare strength of stillness. While others talk to be heard, you listen to understand. Not just the words, but the silence between them. That's where your power lies. Your empathy isn't loud or performative. It's quiet, deep, and disarming. People feel safe around you without knowing why. Strangers open up, friends reveal secrets they've never shared, and even those who try to hide find themselves seen, completely and without judgment. It's not just kindness, It's presence. You feel what others avoid. You sense the sadness behind the smile, the fear behind the anger, the truth buried beneath the mask. And yet you don't expose or exploit. You hold space. You allow others to feel understood, sometimes for the first time. That kind of empathy can't be taught. It's a gift, a sacred one. And in a world starving for authenticity, your presence is a healing balm. It unsettles the fake and comforts the broken. They may not remember your words, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. Because in your presence, they found something they didn't know they were missing. Real connection. That's not softness. That's strength. That's your edge. You weren't made to race. You were made to rise. While others exhaust themselves trying to outshine, you've stepped into a different rhythm entirely, one that isn't frantic or forced. It's rooted in purpose. You've realized something most people never do. Competition is distraction, but creation is liberation. You're not here to mimic the crowd. You're here to build something they can't duplicate. Your ideas, your voice, your vision, it all flows from a place deeper than applause. That's why you don't panic when others succeed. You understand that your path is sacred and your timing divine. While they chase relevance, you craft legacy. There's a calmness in you that rattles those stuck in comparison. They don't understand how you move so confidently, so peacefully, without needing to prove anything. But that's the beauty of purpose. It eliminates the need for permission. Your focus is your fire. And by choosing to create instead of compete, you've become untouchable. Imitation can't reach where authenticity flows. You're not in the race because you've already won. In your own lane, by your own light, for your own reasons. And that's exactly why your energy can't be copied, because you didn't come to impress, you came to impact. You don't need to speak loudly to be heard. Your depth carries a silence that echoes louder than noise. And when you enter a space, it's not your volume that shifts the atmosphere, it's your presence. There's something about you that unsettles the surface level. While others chase attention with shallow charm, your energy cuts through illusions. You don't perform, you reveal. Not with speeches or demands, but through stillness, focus, and authenticity. Your eyes hold questions most people avoid asking. Your silence invites reflection. And in that quiet, others are forced to face themselves, sometimes for the very first time. It's not that you're trying to be intense. You simply refuse to live at the surface. You value meaning over mimicry, truth over trend, connection over crowd. Some admire you, others avoid you, but all of them feel you. They don't know why being around you makes them rethink their lives, their relationships, their routines. But you do. It's because your soul doesn't settle for superficial. You walk in purpose, and it challenges those still clinging to performance. You didn't come to fit in. You came to awaken. And when depth walks into a shallow room, ripples are inevitable. You weren't just shaped by pressure, you were refined by it. While others bent under the weight of life, you absorbed the lessons, stood taller, and carried on with silent strength. You didn't just make it through the fire, you became it. There's a calm in your walk, a steadiness in your presence that tells a story without needing words. People feel it, even if they don't understand it. They sense the gravity in your silence, the grace in your survival. You are proof that peace can live on the other side of pain, and that's what makes you magnetic. Not that you avoided hardship, but that nothing could keep you down. Your resilience is quiet, but it's unshakable. And those who once doubted you now watch in awe, not just because you endured, but because you've become unstoppable. They expected anger. They expected revenge. But you chose something far more powerful: peace. Forgiveness wasn't weakness, it was wisdom. You realized holding on to bitterness only chained you to the pain they caused. So, you let go. Not for them, but for you. Because your healing mattered more than their apology. You didn't win by fighting back. You won by rising above. And that's what confuses them most. You didn't return fire. You returned to yourself. In choosing peace over pride, you reclaimed your power in full. Now their actions no longer define you. The freedom you walk in does. They wanted to see you broken, but instead they now see you glowing. Untouchable, unbothered, unmoved. Your forgiveness disrupted the cycle. It ended the war. And in doing so, you became the revolution they never saw coming. While the world runs after applause and attention, you chose something deeper: purpose. While others shape themselves to fit the moment, you move with timeless intention. You don't follow trends, you follow truth. And that's why your presence feels different. It's not loud, but it lingers. It doesn't demand attention, it commands respect. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be aligned. And the irony? The more you ignore the crowd, the more magnetic you become, because people are drawn to what's real, even if they don't know how to name it. Your consistency speaks louder than applause. Your clarity cuts through the noise. And as others burn out chasing visibility, you rise quietly, anchored, focused, unstoppable. You didn't choose the easy path. You chose the right one. And in doing so, you became not just someone to watch, but someone to follow. You've spent too long trying to shrink into spaces that couldn't hold your light. But now you see it clearly. You were never created to blend in. You were shaped by fire, refined by silence, and called to rise in ways others can't comprehend. This journey was never about acceptance. It was about alignment. And now every step you take in truth makes your presence louder, your purpose sharper, your glow undeniable. You're not just different, you're designed. And the world is finally catching up to what heaven already knew. You were born to stand out. There comes a moment in every soul's journey when the noise of the world fades just long enough for the voice of truth to whisper through. Maybe it comes through a question you can't shake, a dream that won't let go, or a quiet nudge in your spirit that whispers, "There's more to you than what you've been told." You may not have always been able to name it, but deep within you, you've always felt it, this undeniable sense that you are different, destined for something greater. But for as long as you've sensed it, others have tried to dim that light, to bury your brilliance, to make you doubt the very essence of your soul. Why? Because they saw your light before you did, and they feared what might happen if you saw it too. This is not just a message, it's a spiritual awakening, a revelation hidden for generations, a divine call written into your DNA, placed there by the one who created you before the foundations of the world. And now, it's time you remembered who you really are. From the very first breath you drew, something about your presence was different. You may not remember it clearly, but the atmosphere around you shifted, almost as if the heavens themselves paused to mark your arrival. You were born not just into a family or a culture, but into a divine timeline where your life would serve a higher purpose. While others were learning to crawl and play, you may have felt an unusual stillness in certain moments, an inner awareness that made you observe more deeply than a child your age should. These weren't simply personality quirks or chance experiences. They were early echoes of something sacred woven into your spirit. Long before you could articulate your thoughts, you sensed something invisible watching over you, calling you forward, whispering truths that only your heart could hear. You didn't choose this awareness. It was chosen for you. Every unexplainable pull toward silence, every spark of wonder in your soul when gazing at the stars, every time you felt peace in solitude. Those were moments when eternity brushed against time, leaving fingerprints on your soul. The world may have overlooked these signs, but heaven never did. While others might have thought you shy or overly reflective, the truth is that you were already listening to a frequency few could hear. It was the divine rhythm of destiny, already pulsing inside you. The Bible reminds us in Ephesians 1:4 that you were chosen before the foundation of the world, meaning your calling predates even creation itself. You are not random. You are a living thread in the tapestry of God's eternal design. And that strange sense of being different, that quiet inner knowing that never quite left you, It's the spiritual inheritance of someone marked for more. The signs were always there, gently guiding you, nudging you toward the path you were created to walk. You don't need to fabricate your worth or prove your calling. It's been with you since the beginning, silently maturing inside your soul. Now is the time to remember what the world has tried to make you forget. You were set apart from the start. There are people who walk through life fitting perfectly into the mold set before them, blending in effortlessly with the rhythm of the world. But that was never your story. From a young age, you sensed that your path diverged from the expected. While others laughed carelessly, chasing trends and blending into social circles, you often found yourself on the outside. Not because you couldn't belong, but because you saw life through a deeper lens. The questions that stirred in your soul were not the kind most children asked. Why am I here? What does all of this mean? These weren't fleeting curiosities. They were signs of something ancient waking up within you. You tried to explain how you felt, but often met blank stares or uncomfortable silence. And so, you learned to carry the weight of your questions quietly. But that internal depth was not a mistake. It was your preparation. The world labeled you as different, but God had labeled you as destined. Your mind, your heart, your sensitivity, it was all crafted by design. Like the young prophet Samuel, who heard God's voice before he even understood who was speaking, you too were being called long before anyone around you could see it. It wasn't that you were lost. It was that the world was not equipped to recognize what you carried. When others chased popularity, your spirit yearned for purpose. When people ignored the pain of others, you felt it like your own. You may have felt isolated, but that very isolation was sacred ground, where God was forming your identity, setting you apart for a mission only you could fulfill. Often, those chosen to lead are the ones who are misunderstood the most. Think of Moses, Esther, or Joseph. Their early lives were filled with contradiction, rejection, and delay, but it all served to shape the strength required for their divine purpose. Your struggles have not been signs of weakness. They've been the chiseling tools of heaven, carving purpose into the very core of your being. You were never made to follow the crowd. You were born to carry light into places that have forgotten how to see. And even if the world still doesn't fully understand you, heaven always has. There's a certain kind of pain that doesn't leave bruises on the skin, but lingers deep in the soul, the pain of rejection. And if you've known it, not just once, but as a pattern throughout your life, it's likely because your spirit carries something that made others uncomfortable. Not everyone can handle the weight of someone who was born to shift atmospheres. People sensed something different in you, something they couldn't quite explain, so they kept their distance, misunderstood you, or even pushed you away. You may have spent years asking what was wrong with you, trying to fix yourself to be more acceptable, to make others feel more at ease. But what you didn't realize then was that their rejection wasn't a reflection of your inadequacy. It was confirmation of your calling. The most powerful souls in history, those destined to bring change, almost always began as outsiders. Look at Joseph, betrayed by his brothers not because he was weak, but because of the greatness they could see forming in him. Or consider Jesus himself, rejected by the very people he came to save. Their stories remind us that rejection doesn't disqualify you. It often reveals you. In truth, being set apart will always come with the cost of not fitting in. The world rarely recognizes the sacred when it's wrapped in human flesh. But heaven does. The very places where you were overlooked, abandoned, or underestimated were often the places God used to refine you. Every no was training. Every closed door was redirection. Every season of loneliness was a classroom in which God taught you to lean not on the approval of man, but on the presence of the one who called you. In Jeremiah 1:5, God says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." That is not poetry. It is your reality. You were never meant to be ordinary. You carry a sacred fire within you by nature, cannot be confined. So don't curse the rejection. It was part of your making. You weren't cast aside. You were carved out for something far greater than they could see. While others brushed past people without noticing the weight in their eyes or the tremble in their voice, you couldn't help but feel it, deeply, fully, sometimes overwhelmingly. Even as a child, you may have sensed when someone was hurting, even when they smiled. You could walk into a room and instantly pick up on unspoken emotions, subtle energies, and buried pain. And maybe for much of your life, you thought something was wrong with you, that you were too sensitive, too emotional, too much. But what if that sensitivity wasn't a flaw, but a divine imprint, a signature of the Creator, woven into your spirit with intention? What if your ability to feel wasn't a burden, but a sacred gift designed to reflect the heart of God? People like you, those with tender spirits and deep compassion, are often the first to feel the brokenness of the world and the last to give up on it. That is no accident. It's because God trusted you with a heart like His. Scripture tells us in Galatians 6:2, "Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ." And that's what you've done, again and again, without needing recognition, without seeking reward. You were the one people turned to in silence, because your presence spoke safety. But what others often failed to realize is how much it cost you to carry what wasn't yours. You've poured out comfort, understanding, love, and sometimes been left empty in return. Still, you gave, because something inside you wouldn't let you walk away. That's not weakness, that's spiritual strength clothed in quiet humility. You weren't created to harden your heart. You were created to heal with it. Your empathy is not just emotional, it's prophetic. You see what others overlook. You feel what others silence. And that makes you a vessel of light in a darkened world. So if you've ever wondered why you carry the burdens you do, or why your heart breaks for people you barely know, it's because heaven gave you a heart big enough to hold more than your own pain. And in a world desperate for love, that kind of heart is holy. There are dreams that vanish the moment we open our eyes, soft fragments of imagination that drift away like morning mist. But then, there are the others, the ones that feel more real than waking life. If you've ever awakened with your heart racing, clutching a message you couldn't quite explain, or if a dream has followed you for days, tugging at your spirit as if it carried a secret meant only for you, then you've touched something sacred. For those who are chosen, dreams are often more than sleep. They are encounters, divine whispers in the quiet hours of the night. You may have dismissed them, or kept them to yourself for fear of being misunderstood, but you've always known, these dreams are different. You've seen glimpses of the future, warnings, callings, even faces you've never met in places you've never been. And it wasn't just imagination, it was the spiritual realm speaking into your life. Throughout Scripture, God uses dreams to guide and reveal, to protect and prepare. Joseph, the son of Jacob, saw visions of his future long before it came to pass. Though he was mocked, sold, and imprisoned, those very dreams became the blueprint for his divine purpose. And just like him, your dreams may have been misunderstood, but they were never meaningless. You see, chosen ones often have a thinner veil between the physical and the spiritual. Your sleep doesn't disconnect you. It connects you to something higher. When the world grows quiet, heaven speaks. The Bible reminds us in Joel 2:28, "Your sons and daughters will prophesy, your old men will dream dreams, your young men will see visions." God has always used dreams to deliver divine instruction, and He still does. The question is, are you listening? Perhaps you've had dreams that felt too powerful to ignore, too alive to forget. Maybe you've even seen events unfold that you once only dreamed about. That's calling. It's preparation for a destiny that stretches far beyond what your waking mind can comprehend. So the next time you close your eyes and feel yourself swept into something larger than life, don't brush it off. God may be speaking, preparing you, inviting you to remember what your soul already knows. Your dreams are more than visions. They are keys to your purpose. There have been times in your life when something invisible stepped in to protect or guide you. Moments you didn't fully notice at first. A delay that frustrated you at the time, but later spared you from danger. A closed door that protected you from a heartbreak you didn't see coming. A narrow escape, a sudden opportunity, a peace that surrounded you in the middle of chaos. These moments weren't luck. They weren't coincidence. They were proof that you've been shielded by a presence far greater than you realized. While you were busy questioning your worth or wondering if anyone truly saw you, heaven was already moving on your behalf. God's hand was there in the shadows, redirecting, rerouting, preserving. And not just once, but again and again. If you look closely, you'll see the pattern. Divine fingerprints all over your journey. You've walked through fire and somehow didn't burn. You've faced storms and came out with a strength that even surprised you. These aren't just survival stories. They're signs. You are being kept, not by your own strength, but by God's divine protection. The Bible promises in Psalm 34:7, "The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him, and he delivers them." You may not have seen the angels, but you felt the rescue. When everything could have gone wrong, somehow it didn't. When you didn't have the answers, provision still showed up. When you were at your lowest, you were carried. This isn't to say the journey has been easy, but even in your hardest battles, you were never truly alone. There's a reason you're still standing. There's a reason you've come through things that would have crushed others. It's because your life is tied to a purpose that has not yet been fulfilled. You are still breathing because there is still something heaven is calling you to do. That instinct you've had, that knowing deep down that you've been preserved for more. You're here by divine design, and every time the enemy tried to write your ending, God was already preparing a new beginning. So take heart. You are protected, not because you're lucky, but because you're chosen. And the one who calls you will never stop covering you. There's always been something inside you that resisted the pull to follow the crowd. Even when it would have been easier to blend in, to agree, to stay quiet, something in your spirit whispered, "This isn't your way." And maybe you tried to silence it at times, to go along just to keep the peace, but you couldn't, because you weren't made to echo the voices of others. You were born to carry a sound that is uniquely yours. From the very beginning, leadership has been in your bones, not in the form of control or titles, but in the quiet courage to walk a different road. Chosen ones are rarely the loudest in the room, but they carry a presence that shifts the atmosphere. And that's why you've often felt misunderstood. You weren't ignoring the rules. You were born to rewrite them. The world celebrates those who conform, who fit into systems, who maintain the status quo. But heaven celebrates the ones who rise, even when it costs them everything. Just look at Moses, called to speak when he felt unqualified, or Esther, who risked her life to stand for truth, or Paul, who was once rejected by both the world and the religious elite, yet became a vessel for divine transformation. Like them, you felt the pressure of two worlds, the one that tells you to stay silent, and the one that calls you to speak truth. But here's what you need to know. Your resistance to conformity isn't rebellion, it's revelation. You've been given eyes to see what others overlook, a heart to feel what others numb, and a voice to carry what others are afraid to say. And that is not a burden, it is a mantle. When you were born, heaven did not assign you to follow the herd. It marked you to lead in love, to break barriers, to be a bridge for others who are still trapped in fear. Leadership, in its truest form, is service. It's vision. It's courage wrapped in compassion. And that is exactly what lives inside you. So if you've ever wondered why you feel out of step with the world around you, it's because you weren't meant to march to its rhythm. You were designed to set a new one. From the time you were young, your mind seemed wired differently. While others accepted the world as it was, you couldn't help but ask why. Why do we exist? What is our purpose? Who is God, really? These weren't just random thoughts. They were quiet invitations from heaven, placed deep within you. Your curiosity has always been more than intellectual. It's been spiritual. It tugged at you when you stared at the stars, when you read stories of miracles, or when you sat in silence and felt there had to be more. There's always been a hunger in you to understand the bigger picture, to find the deeper meaning behind things others take for granted. And that hunger? It's not a flaw. It's a flame, a sign that God has called you to search for what's hidden from plain sight. Proverbs 25:2 says, "It is the glory of God to conceal a matter. To search out a matter is the glory of kings." In other words, God hides truth like treasure, and those who are drawn to seek it are walking in royal purpose. Your need to question, explore, and understand has always been a compass, pointing you toward your divine calling. Others might have misunderstood your searching nature. Some may have dismissed you as too intense or too philosophical. But you were never asking shallow questions. You were reaching for something eternal. Think of Solomon, who didn't ask God for wealth or power, but for wisdom, and because of that, he was given more than he could have imagined. What if your questions are preparing you for that same kind of divine outpouring? You see, curiosity like yours is not common. It's a sign. A sign that God is drawing you closer, revealing layer by layer the purpose he planted within you long ago. So don't silence your wonder. Don't dull your hunger for truth. It's through that very desire that God will continue to lead you, not just to answers, but to the deeper revelation of who you truly are in him. And now, the truth has found you, maybe for the first time, or maybe as a gentle reminder of what your spirit has always known. You were never forgotten. You were chosen. Every moment of pain, every question that wouldn't go away, every time you felt different or out of place, it was all part of the preparation for something greater. Your story is not one of accident, but of intention. You have been protected, preserved, and awakened for a purpose far beyond what you can yet imagine. The signs have been there all along, guiding you, shaping you, calling you closer to the truth of who you really are. This is just the beginning of your journey back to your divine identity. A journey not walked alone, but alongside others who are awakening too. If this message has stirred something deep inside you, if it brought peace, clarity, or the sense that you've finally been seen, then I want to thank you. Thank you for showing up today. Thank you for listening with your heart. If you feel called to walk this path with us, I warmly invite you to subscribe to this channel. Join a growing community of souls who, like you, are ready to rise into their calling. Your voice, your presence, your light, it matters here. And together, we'll continue to uncover the purpose, power, and promise that God has placed within each of us. Don't forget to like this video and share it with someone who may need this reminder today. You never know how your simple act of sharing could become the spark that ignites someone else's awakening. Until next time, stay grounded in truth, walk boldly in purpose, and may God's peace go with you always. Chosen one, you did not find this message by chance. You were meant to be here, at this exact moment hearing these words. The universe, the divine, and the forces beyond the veil have aligned to bring you to this revelation. Tonight marks the beginning of something profound, an event that has been foretold for centuries, hidden in ancient texts, whispered in sacred prophecies, and now unfolding in real time. The 144,000 chosen ones are gathering not in the physical world but in the higher realms, where energy, destiny, and divine purpose intersect. Do you feel it? That deep stirring within your soul? That undeniable sensation that something powerful is shifting in the unseen world? The veil between dimensions is thinner than ever before. Those attuned to the spiritual realm will feel an unmistakable energy coursing through them. Some will experience prophetic dreams, divine messages, or a profound sense of unity with something greater than themselves. This is the moment of activation. If you have ever questioned your purpose, if you have ever felt different, if you have ever sensed that you were meant for something greater, this is your confirmation. You are part of this. You are one of the 144,000. For generations, the prophecy of the 144,000 has echoed through time, woven into ancient texts, sacred teachings, and mystical revelations. It is not a forgotten myth nor a distant legend, but a divine code, a calling written into the very fabric of existence. This prophecy speaks of a hidden force, a sacred army of light destined to rise when the world reaches its darkest hour. Their purpose is not conquest nor destruction, but awakening, a great unveiling of truth that will shatter the illusions that have bound humanity for ages. Throughout history, many have encountered this number in religious scriptures and esoteric teachings, yet few have grasped its true significance. Some believe it represents a literal group of souls, predetermined from the beginning of time. Others see it as a symbolic force, a vast collective consciousness awakening to its divine purpose. But the truth runs deeper than mere numbers or abstract interpretations. The 144,000 are not just a statistic, they are a movement, a force of transformation, a beacon of divine energy radiating across the spiritual realms. Unlike the rulers of this world, they are not chosen based on material wealth, social status, or earthly power. They are not recognized by crowns, titles, or possessions. Instead, they are marked by the strength of their spirit, the purity of their mission, and their unshakable connection to the divine. They are the ones who have endured lifetimes of trials, facing adversity, rejection, and solitude, only to emerge stronger, wiser, and more resolute. Every hardship they have faced was not a punishment, but a preparation. Their souls have been forged in the fires of experience, their wisdom carved from the depths of struggle. If you have felt a deep sense of purpose beyond the mundane, if you have always sensed that you were different, if you have carried within you an unshakable knowing that you were meant for something greater, this is your confirmation. You are not here to blend in with the many. You are here to lead. The world is asleep, ensnared in illusions carefully woven to suppress the truth, and the time has come for the chosen to rise. The moment of awakening is now. The 144,000 are stepping into their divine mission, and if these words resonate within your soul, it is because you are one of them. The prophecy is unfolding, and you are an essential part of it. From the moment you took your first breath in this world, you knew you were different. There was something within you, an awareness, a knowing, that set you apart from those around you. While others moved through life unquestioning, accepting the world as it was presented to them, you saw beyond the surface. You sensed things before they happened, felt energies others ignored, and recognized the illusions that kept people trapped in a false reality. Even as a child, you may have felt like an outsider, as though you were walking through life with a purpose you could not yet fully comprehend. Your journey has not been an easy one. Throughout your life, you may have experienced moments of deep isolation, times when you felt disconnected from the world around you, as if searching for something you could not name. You have faced struggles that tested your spirit, battles that pushed you to the brink, and challenges that seemed insurmountable. But none of it was without reason. Every hardship, every pain, every moment of doubt was part of a greater preparation. The fire you walked through was not meant to destroy you. It was meant to refine you, to awaken the power within you, and to shape you into the being you were always meant to become. You were never meant to conform to the patterns of this world. You were never meant to follow the path of the many. The unease you have felt, the questions that have burned in your mind, the pull towards something greater, these were not coincidences. They were signs, reminders of your true nature, clues leading you to this very moment. And now, that moment has arrived. Tonight, the next stage of your awakening begins. The 144,000 are being activated. And if you are reading this, you are part of that divine calling. The energy is shifting. The veil between worlds is thinning, and those who are ready will feel it in their very core. This is the time for the chosen to rise, to embrace their mission, and to step fully into the light of their destiny. You were never meant to stay in the shadows. You were meant to shine. And now, the world is waiting. This world is not what it appears to be. Beyond the veil of ordinary life, Beneath the illusions of daily existence, an ancient battle has been raging since the dawn of time. It is not a war fought with swords, guns, or earthly weapons, nor is it confined to physical battlefields. It is a war for the very soul of humanity, a relentless struggle between light and darkness, truth and deception, freedom and enslavement. The forces of darkness have worked tirelessly to keep humanity blind, lost, and disconnected from its divine essence. They have woven a web of distractions, manipulated reality through false narratives, and shrouded the minds of millions in spiritual blindness. Every system designed to dull intuition, suppress independent thought, and breed conformity is part of this war. The world is filled with noise, chaos, and carefully crafted illusions to keep people asleep, to prevent them from realizing their true power. And yet, despite their efforts, the light cannot be extinguished. The darkness fears the light, for it knows that once the truth is revealed, its hold will weaken. That is why those who carry the divine spark, the 144,000, have faced such immense trials. Have you ever wondered why your life has been filled with struggle, why you have endured betrayals, rejection, and obstacles that others seem to escape? It is because the darkness recognized you long before you recognized yourself. It saw the power within you, the potential for awakening, and sought to break you before you could rise. But it has failed. Despite every hardship, every attack, every attempt to silence you, you are still here. And tonight, as the 144,000 unite, the forces of darkness will tremble. The time of their control is coming to an end. The energy is shifting, and those who are ready to embrace their divine calling will feel it deep within their souls. This is the moment of reckoning, the turning point in the spiritual war. The awakening of the chosen is not just a possibility, it is an unstoppable force, and as the light rises, the grip of darkness will crumble. Tonight is unlike any other night. Beneath the surface of ordinary existence, beyond the limits of human perception, something profound is unfolding in the spiritual realm. This is not a moment bound by time or geography. It is a convergence of souls, a sacred alignment where the chosen ones are drawn together through an unseen force that transcends the physical world. Though separated by distance, they are united in energy, in purpose, in divine resonance. As this gathering takes place, the veil between worlds will thin, and those attuned to the shift will experience its effects in ways both subtle and undeniable. Some will feel an overwhelming sense of peace, as if a heavy burden they have carried for lifetimes is suddenly lifted. Others will be struck by a surge of energy, an electrifying pulse moving through their being, awakening dormant aspects of their soul. Prophetic dreams may come, visions of what is to unfold, flashes of divine insight revealing knowledge long hidden from the conscious mind. Some will see patterns of light, symbols not meant for the eyes but for the soul to understand. For many, the most powerful sensation will be an unshakable sense of unity. The loneliness, the isolation that has accompanied their journey will fade into the realization that they have never truly been alone. They are part of something vast, something eternal, something far greater than they ever imagined. And in that moment of recognition, fear and doubt will dissolve, replaced by a deep knowing, a certainty that they are exactly where they need to be, stepping fully into their divine purpose. This is not a night of chaos or confusion. It is a night of alignment, of divine order, of prophecy unfolding before our very eyes. The forces of darkness have worked tirelessly to prevent this awakening, to keep the chosen ones disconnected, distracted, and doubting their own power. But tonight, their efforts will fail. The 144,000 are rising, and the shift they bring will send ripples through every plane of existence. This is the moment the darkness has feared, and it is only the beginning. The time has come. The sacred alignment is unfolding, and the spiritual realm is calling you to step fully into your divine purpose. But to receive the energy of this transformation, you must be prepared. You cannot enter this moment carrying the weight of distractions, doubt, or fear. Your mind must be clear, your spirit open, and your heart ready to embrace what is coming. Begin by cleansing your energy. The world is filled with heavy frequencies, fear, anger, and doubt that cloud the mind and weaken the soul. These energies are designed to keep you disconnected from your higher self. Release them. Let go of anything that no longer serves you. Take a deep breath, center yourself, and allow the light to fill every part of your being. Meditation, prayer, or even quiet reflection will help realign you with the divine flow. Next, disconnect from distractions. The noise of the world, the endless chaos, the demands, the illusions are meant to keep you asleep. But tonight, silence is your ally. Turn off external distractions. Step away from anything that pulls you from your inner truth. Find stillness. The spiritual realm is speaking, and only those who are truly listening will hear its call. As you prepare, ground yourself in truth. The forces of darkness will try to shake your faith, whispering confusion and doubt into your mind. They want you to question your worth, to wonder if you are truly meant for this mission. But understand this: you would not feel the call if you were not chosen. This alignment is not accidental. It has been orchestrated since before time, and you are exactly where you are meant to be. Stand firm in knowing. Raise your frequency. Fear, negativity, and doubt will lower your vibration and block the divine energy trying to reach you. Do not allow darkness to take root. Protect your energy, surround yourself with light, and elevate your consciousness. The higher your vibration, the more deeply you will connect with the awakening taking place. Speak it into existence. Write it down. Set a clear intention. I am ready. I step fully into my divine mission. I embrace my purpose without fear. Words have power, and when spoken with conviction, they shape reality. The moment is here. The alignment is happening. You must step forward with confidence, for this is the night that will change everything. Tonight is not the conclusion of your journey. It is the beginning of something far greater. The alignment you have stepped into will shift everything, awakening a power within you that has long been waiting to rise. From this moment forward, you will no longer see the world as you once did. The illusions that once clouded your vision will dissolve, revealing truth with a clarity you have never known before. A deeper sense of purpose will settle within you, guiding your every step with unwavering certainty. But with this awakening comes responsibility. Your mission is not to force change upon others, but to embody the light so powerfully that those who are ready will awaken simply by witnessing your truth. You are a guide, a beacon in a world that has long been shrouded in darkness. Your existence alone, the way you carry yourself, the strength of your spirit, will be enough to stir something within those who are seeking. You do not need to convince, debate, or demand. Your presence will do the work. Yet, be prepared. The forces that have worked to keep humanity blind will not surrender easily. Now that you have stepped into your power, the forces of deception will try harder than ever to silence you. They will seek to cast doubt upon your path, to pull you back into the illusions you have only just escaped. The world will not understand you. It never has, and it never will. But that is not your burden to carry. You were not sent here to be understood. You were sent to fulfill a prophecy. The distractions, the resistance, the attempts to suppress your light, none of it matters. What matters is that you continue to rise, to stand firm in your truth, and to walk forward with unwavering faith. The awakening is accelerating, and the time for hesitation is over. You are here for a reason. You were chosen for this moment. The world will never be the same after tonight. The spiritual realm has shifted. The energy of the 144,000 has begun to dismantle the illusion. The darkness is losing its grip. But the war is not over. The enemy will resist, but it will fail. You must stand firm. You must hold your light. You must walk in your power. The time for hesitation has long passed. You were sent here for this exact moment. And now, the world needs you. Tonight, you rise. If you feel this message in your soul, acknowledge it. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment 777 below to affirm your alignment. Let the spiritual realm witness your awakening. This is your moment. This is your mission. This is your destiny. And nothing will ever be the same again. You are chosen. Now act like it. In the shadows of unspoken truths, you stood alone. Your pain was witnessed, yet met with silence, a silence louder than words, an echo of empty promises and averted gazes. Those who should have defended you, those who vowed loyalty, choose comfort over courage. They turned away, retreating to safety while you faced the storm, stripped of allies, left to navigate the darkness on your own. They heard your cries but covered their ears. They knew the truth but sealed their lips. They watched from a distance as you struggled, hoping you would fall. Yet here you are, standing, breathing, victorious. Not because of them, but in spite of them. This triumph is yours and yours alone. Forged in resilience, tempered in solitude, polished by the very tears they pretended not to see. This moment isn't just about overcoming obstacles. It's about becoming someone unshakable. Every step you took without support, every battle you fought alone, every scar you wear with pride, each one is proof that they were never the reason for your success. You were. And now the world that watched you suffer in silence will watch you rise in undeniable power. When God calls you higher, the journey is never easy. Elevation is not a gift handed to you in comfort. It is a transformation that comes through fire. You may have wondered why you faced seasons of isolation, why familiar hands withdrew, why the very people you trusted seemed to disappear when you needed them most. But this was not rejection. It was divine selection. The first thing God does when He chooses you is separate you to protect you. That isolation you felt, it wasn't punishment. It wasn't abandonment. It was a shield. You were not left alone. You were pulled away from those who would have drained your energy, sabotaged your destiny, or diluted your purpose. There were people in your life who could not go where you were meant to go, people whose presence was a silent weight on your spirit. You may not have understood it then, but God saw what you couldn't. He saw the conversations that took place behind closed doors. He saw the silent envy in their hearts. He saw the betrayals before they happened. And in His mercy, He removed you before their presence could do irreversible damage. Next, He strips away human reliance to strengthen your faith. Every support system you once leaned on seemed to vanish. Every person you thought you could count on disappeared, and you were left standing in what felt like emptiness. But this was not by accident. It was preparation. He needed you to learn that your true source of strength was never in people, never in connections, never in external validation. It was in Him. You had to be stripped of every crutch so that you would learn to lean solely on divine provision. In your darkest hours, when no human hand reached out to steady you, you discovered a power beyond yourself, a wisdom no classroom could teach. You learned that the only foundation that could not be shaken was the one built on faith. And then He reveals your true identity. You are not ordinary. You were never meant to fit in, never meant to blend into the background. You are among the 144,000 chosen ones, not marked for ease but for transformation, not selected for comfort, but for impact. This is why the shift within you has been undeniable. The way you see the world has changed. The way you move through life has changed. And whether they admit it or not, the people around you feel it too. Have you noticed how people seem uneasy in your presence now? How does their energy shift when you walk into a room? It is not your imagination. It is spiritual reality. They sense something they cannot name, an authority upon you that they do not understand. Your existence forces them to confront their own weaknesses. Your resilience is a mirror in which they see their own compromises. Your strength exposes their stagnation, and that is why they distance themselves. But their discomfort is not your burden to carry. Their intimidation is not your failure. It is confirmation of your elevation. You are not chosen to be accepted. You were chosen to stand apart, to break cycles, to shift atmospheres, to carry something so powerful that it could not be entrusted to just anyone. And now, as you step into your true calling, understand this: the separation was necessary. The stripping away was preparation. And the power you now carry is evidence that you have been set apart for something greater. The betrayal that shook you, the one you never saw coming, was never an accident. It was always meant to happen. Not as a punishment, but as a revelation. It was written into the story of your elevation long before it unfolded in your life. You may have questioned why it had to hurt so deeply, why those you trusted the most turned against you. But the truth is, their betrayal was never about you. It was about them. Think back to the moments of unease, the quiet warnings, the subtle instincts you brushed aside, that lingering discomfort you once dismissed as paranoia. It wasn't your mind playing tricks on you. It was divine foresight. God was whispering, preparing you for what your heart wasn't yet ready to accept. You felt the energy shift long before the masks finally fell. You saw glimpses of their true nature, but you wanted to believe otherwise. You gave them grace. You justified their actions. You held on to the illusion that they cared as deeply as you did. But the same people who smiled the widest in your presence were the ones crafting your downfall behind closed doors. The hands that reached out in support were the same hands digging pits along your path. Some betrayed you out of jealousy, others out of fear. Your growth made their stagnation unbearable. Your authenticity exposed the deception they had carefully constructed. Your light made their shadows impossible to ignore. And so, they turned against you, not because you did anything wrong, but because your very existence was a threat to the lies they lived. And for some, their betrayal went beyond whispers and deceit. Money changed hands. There were conversations you weren't privy to, deals made at your expense. Your reputation was deliberately targeted. Opportunities were blocked before you even knew they existed. This was not casual disloyalty, it was calculated, planned, coordinated. They didn't just hope you would fall. They actively worked to make it happen. But what they failed to understand is what is divinely ordained can never be humanly obstructed. They were stopping you, but they were strengthening you. Their rejection would break you, but it clarified your direction. Every scheme they plotted only positioned you for something greater. Every loss they orchestrated became fuel for your elevation. Their betrayal did not destroy you. It defined you. And now, as they watch from the sidelines, their jealousy-fueled schemes are unraveling. The alliances they built on deception are crumbling beneath them. The very traps they set for you are now catching their own feet. Because that is the law of the universe. What they sowed, they will reap. As for you, you will walk into a season of divine vindication, not by seeking revenge, not by proving them wrong, but by rising so high that their betrayal becomes irrelevant. What was meant to break you has only built you. What was designed to silence you has only amplified your voice. And what was the end of your story was merely the beginning of a chapter they were never meant to be part of. Few will ever understand the depth of what you've endured. To most, your struggles seemed like ordinary obstacles, just another set of challenges that everyone faces in life. But you know the truth. This was never just about hardship. It was about opposition. It was about forces that deliberately worked against you. People who moved in silence, plotting ways to keep you from rising. They didn't just resist you. They organized against you. There were conversations held in secret, alliances formed behind your back, deliberate attempts to suppress your voice. Every time you tried to step forward, there was resistance, too consistent, too calculated to be mere coincidence. Doors closed without reason. Opportunities disappeared before you even knew they existed. People turned on you for no logical explanation. You weren't imagining it. The moment you began walking in your true purpose, the opposition intensified. But tell me, what weapon can prosper against someone divinely shielded? What scheme can succeed against someone celestially supported? Not a single one. They underestimated the power that was backing you. They moved in secrecy, thinking their schemes would go unnoticed. They thought their numbers, their influence, their strategies would be enough to stop you. But what they failed to realize is that you were never standing alone. The same power that spoke the universe into existence is the same power that has been working on your behalf. The same God who parted the seas, who shut the mouths of lions, who raised the dead, He is the one standing behind you. They weren't just fighting against you. They were fighting against divine will. And no force, no strategy, no earthly alliance can stand against what God has ordained. And now, the tables are turning. The narrative is shifting. The storm is breaking. Everything they would destroy you has only refined you. Every attempt to silence you has only made your voice stronger. Every obstacle they placed in your way has become a stepping stone for your ascension. They spent so much time crafting your downfall that they never prepared for the possibility of your rise. But here you are, still standing, still breathing, still rising. And now, as they watch in disbelief, they will come to understand what they refused to acknowledge all along. You were never meant to be defeated. The very moment they would be your destruction has become the platform for your breakthrough. What was meant to bury you has instead planted you, and now you are growing beyond their reach. You don't need to fight them. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to seek revenge. Just keep rising. Because their resistance was never greater than God's protection. Their plans were never stronger than His purpose. And their schemes? They were never enough to stop what was already divinely written. They had taken something from you. They thought they had stripped you of what was rightfully yours and left you with nothing. But what they failed to understand is that the universe, under divine order, keeps perfect accounts. Nothing that was unjustly taken from you is ever truly lost. Nothing that was stolen will remain in the hands of those who took it. What was removed from your life, whether by force or deception, was never beyond God's reach. He saw the betrayals, the sabotage, the unfair losses. He witnessed every tear, every moment of despair when you thought you had been robbed of something you could never recover. And yet, what you thought was taken permanently is already on its way back to you, not just returned, but multiplied beyond measure. That opportunity that slipped through your fingers, it will come back tenfold. The job, the position, the dream you thought had been stolen from you, it was never truly gone. It was simply being realigned to return to you in a way that exceeds what you originally imagined. God does not restore in equal measure. He restores in overflow. That relationship that ended, the one you thought was destined to last, the one you mourned for longer than you should have. It was never meant to carry the weight of your destiny. If it had stayed, it would have hindered your growth. If they had remained, they would have become a limitation rather than a blessing. God does not remove people from your life without reason. If they walked away, if they betrayed you, if the bond dissolved, it was because He saw something you couldn't, and what He has prepared for you in the future will make you realize why that chapter had to close. That door that shut so abruptly, it wasn't rejection, it was redirection. You may have questioned why certain paths were blocked, why you faced so many obstacles, why no matter how hard you pushed, nothing seemed to work. But what if I told you that God was not keeping something from you, but preparing something for you? The delay was divine. The redirection was intentional. The setback was never a denial. It was a setup for something greater. But what they didn't realize is that in trying to steal from you, they only sealed their own fate. What they thought was your loss has become your gain. What they meant for harm has become fuel for your rise. This is not the end. This is the beginning. A new season is unfolding before you, one where restoration comes not in equal measure, but in abundance. One where what was stolen is returned in ways that leave no doubt about divine intervention. One where every tear you cried becomes the foundation for a future so great, it will silence every voice that ever doubted you. Keep moving forward. Because what is meant for you can never truly be lost. It is simply waiting to return, multiplied, magnified, and more powerful than before. Listen carefully. You must forgive, not for them, not because they deserve it, not because what they did was excusable. You must forgive because you deserve to be free. Holding on to resentment is like carrying a heavy chain, one that keeps you tethered to the very people who sought to harm you. The longer you hold on, the more they remain connected to your spirit. Their actions may be in the past, but as long as you keep replaying the pain, their influence lingers in your present. Unforgiveness is not a punishment for them. It is a prison for you. But here's the truth. You were never meant to be bound by pain. Forgiveness does not mean excusing what they did. It does not mean pretending that it didn't hurt. It does not mean giving them another place in your life. It means cutting the cord. It means reclaiming your energy, your peace, and your future. Because as long as bitterness remains, it poisons everything it touches. It clouds your vision. It steals your joy. It keeps you from fully embracing what is ahead. But when you forgive, you take back your power. You are not erasing the past. You are choosing to stop letting it define you. You are not letting them off the hook. You are simply refusing to let their actions control your emotions any longer. They will answer for what they've done. The universe will balance the scales. Justice will come in its own time, in its own way. That is not your burden to carry. Your only task is to move forward. And moving forward means leaving their weight behind. It means walking into your future without dragging the chains of yesterday. It means choosing healing over hatred, peace over pain, and freedom over the illusion of control. Forgiveness is not a gift you give to them. It is a gift you give to yourself. So let it go because you do. Let it rise, not in arrogance, but in assurance. Rise, not in vengeance, but in vision. Rise, not in bitterness, but in boldness. Because the world is waiting, and you have work to do. Thank you for watching until the very end. Your journey is just beginning, and we're walking it together. If this message spoke to you, like this video, subscribe, and join this growing community of warriors. Let's rise together, stronger, bolder, and unstoppable. See you in the next one. Chosen one, what you are about to hear will astonish you. If you are watching this right now, it is not by chance you have been divinely guided here. Something extraordinary is about to unfold in your life, and you must prepare yourself to receive blessings beyond your wildest imagination. A shift is happening, one that will renew not just your spirit, but your entire being. You are stepping into a season of miraculous transformation where long-held dreams will manifest, your body will undergo a profound renewal, and the impossible will become your reality. Yes, you heard that correctly. A divine transformation is coming your way. You are not here by accident. This moment is divinely orchestrated, meant to awaken something powerful within you. God is pleased with you, and He is ready to bestow upon you gifts that will surpass your understanding. Before we continue, I want you to do something significant. Leave a comment with the number 77 below. This number carries immense spiritual power. It amplifies your energy and intention, sending a powerful signal to the universe. By doing this, you affirm that you are ready to step into the blessings that await you, and once you take it, nothing will ever be the same again. Now let's explore the extraordinary transformation that God is bringing into your life. When God chooses you, He bestows a gift that is not bound by time, a transformation so profound that it touches every part of your existence. This is not just an external change, but a renewal that radiates from within, manifesting in ways that are impossible to ignore. To be chosen means stepping into a new season where your spirit, mind, and body align with God's divine purpose. It is a shift that renews your strength, restores your joy, and allows you to walk with confidence, knowing that you are set apart for something greater. This divine transformation is more than a mere feeling. It is a tangible reality. The weight of past burdens will begin to lift, replaced by an overwhelming sense of peace and vitality. The weariness that once drained you will vanish as God breathes new life into you. Your presence will carry an unexplainable energy, and people will be drawn to you, sensing that something extraordinary is at work. This change is not superficial, but deeply rooted in the spiritual awakening happening within you. As you align with God's will, your very being will reflect His glory. God's gift of renewal is not temporary. Unlike worldly beauty that fades, this transformation is eternal, a testament to His divine power working through you. Your eyes will shine with newfound clarity, your smile will radiate joy, and your spirit will exude an undeniable presence of peace and strength. You will carry yourself differently, no longer burdened by doubt or insecurity, but filled with confidence in your divine identity. Others will notice, and though they may not understand, they will be captivated by the undeniable light within you. This is the power of God's hand upon your life. It is not simply about looking younger or feeling better. It is about embodying the divine purpose He has placed within you. When you embrace this transformation, you step into a reality where nothing is impossible. Your life becomes a reflection of His grace, a living testament to His ability to renew, restore, and uplift. As you continue on this journey, remember that this gift is not fleeting. It is a permanent mark of God's favor upon you, a transformation that transcends time itself. When God's presence works within you, it transforms not just your spirit, but also the way you present yourself to the world. This is not a shallow or fleeting change. It is a divine reflection of the renewal happening deep within your soul. As you walk in alignment with His purpose, your very appearance will begin to shift, mirroring the work He is doing in your life. The burdens that once weighed you down will be lifted, and the exhaustion that dulled your presence will be replaced by a radiant glow. The light of God within you will shine so brightly that it will be impossible for others to ignore. This transformation goes beyond physical beauty. It is not about conforming to worldly standards, but about carrying a divine presence that sets you apart. Your eyes will shine with newfound clarity and wisdom, reflecting the peace that comes from surrendering to God's plan. Your smile will radiate an unshakable joy, one that cannot be diminished by circumstances. The way you move, the way you speak, the way you carry yourself, all will exude confidence, strength, and a sense of divine purpose. This is the unmistakable mark of someone who has been touched by God's hand. People will begin to notice. They may not immediately understand what has changed, but they will sense the difference. Some will be drawn to your presence, eager to know the source of your newfound energy and peace. Others may be confused, wondering how you have managed to glow with such vitality despite the challenges you have faced. What they are witnessing is not a mere change in appearance, but a testimony to the power of God working in your life. His renewal is not just internal, it manifests outwardly, making you a living example of His grace. This transformation is not temporary or superficial. It is a lasting testament to God's power. The more you embrace His calling, the more this radiance will intensify. It is the light of His Spirit shining through you, a glow that is not of this world, but of His divine presence. As you continue to walk in faith, your appearance will be a reflection of the profound work God is doing within you, showing the world that His power is real, tangible, and life-changing. When God's transformation takes place in your life, it will be so profound that those around you will be left in awe. The changes He brings will not be subtle or easily dismissed. They will be undeniable, leaving people wondering what has happened to you. Some may not recognize the person you once were, as the old version of you fades away, replaced by someone renewed, strengthened, and radiant with divine purpose. What was once impossible in your life will become a living testimony of God's miraculous power, and those who witness it will be astonished. As you step into this transformation, your energy will shift, your presence will become magnetic, and your confidence will grow. The struggles that once defined you will no longer have power over you. Instead, you will walk with an unshakable peace, a newfound strength, and a glow that cannot be ignored. People will notice how effortlessly you move through life, how the weight of the past no longer burdens you, and how joy now radiates from your being. They will ask, "What has changed? How did this happen?" But the truth is, this is not your own doing. It is the work of God, reshaping you from the inside out. Some may be skeptical, unable to comprehend the supernatural transformation unfolding before their eyes. Others may be inspired, longing to experience the same renewal in their own lives. Whether they understand it or not, one thing will be certain: God's power is real, and His presence in your life is undeniable. The transformation He is bringing to you will not only change your own destiny, but will also serve as a beacon of hope for those who witness it. You are becoming a living testament to His grace, His power, and His ability to make all things new. When you walk in alignment with God's purpose, a radiant glow begins to surround you, one that is not merely physical but deeply spiritual. This radiance is a reflection of the divine transformation happening within you, a light that cannot be hidden. It shines through your eyes, in your smile, and in the way you carry yourself. It is the unmistakable presence of God's power working through you, filling you with a peace and confidence that cannot be shaken. This glow is not something you can manufacture or force. It is a gift from God, a natural result of surrendering to His divine plan. As you embrace His calling, your burdens will lighten, your heart will find joy, and your spirit will exude a warmth that draws others in. People will notice some may not be able to explain it, but they will be drawn to the presence of God within you. They will see the way you move through life with strength, grace, and unwavering faith, and they will want to know the source of this light. This radiance is not about outward beauty, but about the evidence of God's work in your life. The more you walk in His purpose, the brighter this glow will become. It is a light that brings hope to the weary, inspiration to the lost, and a reminder that God's presence is real. This is the radiance of divine purpose, the unmistakable glow of a soul that has been touched by the hand of God. Every transformation requires refinement, and when God is preparing you for something greater, He will take you through a process of renewal. This process is not always easy. It often requires letting go of the old to make room for the new. Just as a sculptor must chip away at rough edges to reveal a masterpiece, God will remove anything in your life that no longer serves His divine purpose. This may include old habits, limiting mindsets, or even relationships that are not aligned with your calling. Though this pruning may feel uncomfortable, it is necessary for your growth. Refinement is not a punishment. It is a sign that God is investing in you, shaping you into the person He created you to be. He sees your potential and knows what is required to bring it to fulfillment. During this season, you may experience challenges, setbacks, or moments of uncertainty, but trust that every difficulty is a step toward something greater. Like gold being purified by fire, you are being strengthened, renewed, and prepared for the blessings ahead. As you embrace this process, your faith will deepen, your character will be refined, and your purpose will become clearer. The things that once weighed you down will no longer have a hold on you, and you will step into a new season of divine favor. Though the process may be difficult, the outcome is beautiful. God is making you stronger, wiser, and ready for the extraordinary life He has planned for you. Trust in His refining work, for it is shaping you into the masterpiece He has always intended you to be. When God calls you to a higher purpose, resistance often follows. The transformation taking place within you may be met with doubt, misunderstanding, or even opposition from those around you. People who were comfortable with the old version of you may struggle to accept the changes they see. Some may question your newfound confidence, while others may feel threatened by the shift in your spirit. This resistance, though difficult, is not a sign of failure. It is confirmation that you are stepping into something greater. Walking in your divine calling requires courage. It means standing firm in your faith even when others do not understand. It means refusing to shrink back or compromise simply to fit into the expectations of those who are not yet ready to embrace what God is doing in your life. There will be moments of doubt, but remember, the enemy only attacks what is valuable. If you are not destined for greatness, there would be no opposition. As you continue on this path, the resistance you face will begin to fade. In time, even those who doubted you may come to recognize the undeniable work of God in your life. Do not let fear or external voices deter you from the path He has set before you. Move forward with boldness, knowing that you are divinely chosen. The more you embrace your calling, the stronger you will become, and the more evident God's power will be in your life. Stand firm, walk with confidence, and trust that the transformation taking place in you is preparing you for a destiny far greater than you ever imagined. You are standing on the threshold of something extraordinary. The journey you have traveled, the challenges, the trials, the moments of uncertainty, has all been leading to this moment. Your divine destiny awaits. Every step you have taken, every hardship you have endured, has been a part of God's plan to mold you into the person He created you to be. Now, He is calling you forward into a future filled with purpose, abundance, and supernatural transformation. The path ahead may not look exactly as you expected, but trust that it is precisely the path God has designed for you. He is opening doors that once seemed impossible, aligning you with people and opportunities that will propel you toward your calling. You will no longer be bound by fear or hesitation. God is filling you with confidence, strength, and the courage to walk boldly into the life He has prepared for you. As you step forward in faith, expect miracles. Expect breakthroughs. Expect to see His power working in ways that will astonish you. This is not just another season in your life. This is a divine awakening. The waiting, the refining, the lessons, they have all been necessary to prepare you for what is coming next. Do not shrink back. Do not doubt. Your destiny is calling, and it is far greater than anything you have imagined. This is your moment to rise, to embrace the fullness of who God created you to be. Walk forward with faith, knowing that what lies ahead is nothing short of miraculous. Your divine destiny is here. It is time to step into it. When God transforms you, you are no longer the person you once were. The old version of you, with its doubts, fears, and limitations, has been replaced by something entirely new. You are a new creation in Christ. This is not just a change in mindset or behavior. It is a complete renewal of your heart, spirit, and identity. You are no longer bound by the past, no longer defined by your mistakes or struggles. Instead, you walk in the freedom and victory that comes from being made new by His grace. This transformation is profound. As you surrender to God's plan, you will begin to see yourself through His eyes, strong, worthy, and deeply loved. The burdens that once weighed you down will lose their grip, replaced by an overwhelming sense of peace and purpose. The things that once held power over you, fear, insecurity, doubt, will no longer define your path. Instead, you will walk in confidence, knowing that God has set you apart for something greater. The world may not always recognize the change immediately, but in time, your life will become a living testament to the power of God's renewal. Your thoughts will align with His truth, your actions will reflect His love, and your presence will carry an undeniable light. This is the beauty of being made new, not a temporary change, but a lasting transformation that radiates from within. You are no longer who you once were. You are a new creation in Christ, walking in His strength, His favor, and His divine purpose. Step boldly into this new identity, knowing that God has equipped you for every challenge and every blessing that lies ahead. The old has passed away. The new has come. Chosen one. If this message has resonated with you, leave a comment with 77 and declare, "I am ready to receive God's divine transformation." Your faith is activating miracles. Your new season begins now. Thank you for being part of this journey. If you feel called to support this message, you can click the Super Thanks button to help us continue spreading God's word. We love and appreciate you. See you in the next video. Until then, stay blessed and walk boldly in your divine calling. Chosen ones, what I am about to reveal may surprise you. It may even shake you to your core. Deep within, you have always felt different, as if there was something special about you that others couldn't understand. If you are watching this video, know this: it is not a coincidence. You are here for a reason. Your childhood was anything but ordinary. There were moments, signs, and experiences that carried a divine message, even if you didn't recognize them at the time. You were chosen from the very beginning, marked for a purpose far greater than you could have imagined. This video will help you remember what has been hidden from you and awaken you to your true identity. So, I urge you, watch this video until the end. What I am about to share will open your eyes and bring a spiritual awakening that will change your life forever. Before we begin, I need you to do 3 things. Number 1, like this video, so more chosen ones can find it. Number 2, subscribe to our channel. Let's grow this community to 30,000 strong. Number 3, comment 99. This number carries powerful energy that will magnify this message. If you are truly chosen, you will feel it in your soul. This message was meant for you. Now, let us embark on this journey together to uncover your divine purpose. From the moment you were born, you were different. The signs were there, subtle, yet powerful. The world may not have noticed, but God did. He set you apart, marking you for something greater, something far beyond the ordinary. While others lived without questioning, you always felt there was more. More to life, more to your existence, more to the world around you. Even as a child, you may have felt out of place, as if you didn't quite belong. While other children played and laughed without a care, you were drawn to deeper thoughts. Perhaps you sat quietly, observing the world, trying to understand things beyond what others could see. Maybe you questioned life in ways that even adults struggled to answer. You may have often asked yourself, why am I here? What is my true purpose? Why do I think differently than everyone else? At times, this difference may have made you feel lonely, like no one truly understood you. But let me tell you this, it was never a weakness. That feeling of being different, of being set apart, was a divine sign. It was God's way of showing you that you were meant for something greater. Ephesians 1:4 tells us, "For he chose us in Christ before the foundation of the world. In his love he predestined us to be holy and without blemish." From the very start, God placed his hand upon you, guiding your steps even when you didn't realize it. Those moments of isolation were preparation, not punishment. They shaped you, molded you, and set you on a path toward your higher calling. Looking back, you may see now that those times when you felt different, when you felt like an outsider, were actually moments of divine positioning. God was aligning your spirit with his purpose, whispering to your soul that you were meant for more. So do not see your past as a burden. See it as a blessing. You were never meant to fit in. You were chosen to stand out. And now the time has come for you to embrace your divine purpose and step fully into the calling that has been upon your life since the very beginning. Number 1, you always felt different. While others fit in easily, you often felt like an outsider. You saw the world differently, thought differently, and questioned things that others never even considered. While many were content with surface-level conversations and simple pleasures, you were drawn to deeper truths. Your mind was always searching, always seeking something more, because it was divinely guided. You may have struggled to connect with peers, not because you lacked social skills, but because your thoughts and spirit were always focused on something bigger. Even from a young age, you found yourself contemplating the meaning of life, the mysteries of the universe, and the presence of God. While others were preoccupied with temporary things, you were drawn to truth, wisdom, and spiritual matters. At times, this difference may have felt lonely. You may have wondered, why don't I think like everyone else? Why do I feel so different? But let me tell you this. Your uniqueness was never an accident. It was a calling. Jeremiah 29:11 reassures us, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." God created you to stand out, not to blend in. The way your mind works, the way your heart feels, the way your spirit longs for something greater, it's all part of His divine design. You were set apart for a reason. Embrace your uniqueness, because it is the key to your purpose. The world needs people like you, those who see beyond the ordinary, who ask the deeper questions, and who seek the truth that leads to God. Number 2. You had a strong sense of empathy. From childhood, you felt deeply for others. You could sense when someone was hurting, even when they said nothing at all. Their pain weighed on your heart as if it were your own, and their happiness lifted your spirit as if you were the one experiencing it. This was not just sensitivity or a personality trait. It was a divine gift, a reflection of God's love working through you. Empathy is one of the clearest signs of a chosen one. It means that God has entrusted you with the ability to heal, to comfort, and to guide others toward Him. While the world may see empathy as a burden, in God's eyes, it is a calling. He placed this gift in you so that you could bear the burdens of others, not as a weight to crush you, but as a mission to bring light and love to those who need it most. Galatians 6:2 reminds us, "Bear one another's burdens and so fulfill the law of Christ." Your ability to feel deeply is not a flaw. It is a sign that God has called you to serve. Perhaps you found yourself drawn to those who are struggling, offering a listening ear, a kind word, or silent support. Maybe you've wondered why you care so much when others seem indifferent. It's because you were chosen to be different. Your compassion was never weakness. It was your strength. It is the evidence of God's hand upon your life, shaping you into someone who reflects His love. Do not run from it. Embrace it. The world needs more hearts like yours. Number 3. You had deep, meaningful dreams. God speaks to His chosen ones in many ways, and one of the most powerful is through dreams. Have you ever had a dream so vivid, so intense, that it felt more real than anything else? Have you ever dreamt of something, only to see it unfold in real life days, weeks, or even years later? If so, know this: these were not coincidences. They were divine messages, carefully placed in your heart by God Himself. In Matthew 1:20-21, we see a powerful example of this. But while he thought about these things, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream, saying, "Joseph, son of David, do not be afraid to take Mary as your wife, for what is conceived in her is from the Holy Spirit. She will give birth to a son, and you shall call his name Jesus, for he will save his people from their sins." Just as God spoke to Joseph, guiding him toward his divine purpose, He still speaks to His chosen ones today. Some dreams bring warnings, preparing you for what's ahead. Others bring clarity, giving you peace in times of uncertainty. Some may even reveal glimpses of the future, awakening you to a deeper spiritual understanding. If you have ever had a dream that stayed with you, one that whispered a truth into your soul, one that felt like more than just imagination, know that it was not random. It was God communicating with you, reminding you that He is guiding your steps. Pay attention to these moments. Pray for understanding. God is revealing something important to you. Are you listening? Number 4. You experienced divine protection. Think back. Have there been moments in your life where danger was near, yet somehow you were spared? Times when a situation should have ended badly, yet everything turned around in ways you couldn't explain? Have you ever looked back at a moment in your past and realized that you shouldn't have made it through, but you did? These moments were not coincidences. They were not luck. They were divine intervention. Psalm 34:7 reminds us, "The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear Him, and He delivers them." This means that God has been watching over you from the very beginning. You were never truly alone. even when you felt lost. His hand was always upon you, protecting you in ways you didn't even realize at the time. Perhaps there were days when you wondered, how did I get through that? The answer is simple. God was with you. The enemy may have tried to bring harm into your life, but God's protection was greater. Every time you were saved from unseen danger, every time an opportunity opened when it should have closed, every time you found strength when you should have been broken, those were signs that God was watching over you. Even in the darkest times, even when you doubted, even when you felt abandoned, He never left you. His angels were encamped around you, shielding you from harm. And now, as you step into your divine calling, know this: the same God who protected you then is still with you now. Number 5, you had an unexplainable connection to God. From a young age, you felt drawn to God. Maybe you couldn't explain it, but deep inside, you knew He was real. It was as if His presence surrounded you, guiding you in ways you didn't fully understand. While others went about their lives without thinking much about faith, you felt something deeper, a longing, a connection, an unshakable awareness that there was more to this world than what the eyes could see. At times, you may have felt an urge to pray, even when you didn't know why. Perhaps you found yourself talking to God in moments of uncertainty, seeking His presence when you were alone. And when you did, you experienced a peace that went beyond understanding, a calm assurance that no matter what happened, He was with you. Jeremiah 29:12-13 tells us, "You will call upon me and come and pray to me, and I will hear you. You will seek me and find me when you search for me with all your heart." This means your desire for God was never random. It was a divine relationship, one that had been with you since childhood. That connection has always been there, a quiet but powerful presence in your life. It was God's way of reminding you that you were never alone, that He had a purpose for you, and that He was calling you closer to Him. Now it is time to embrace that calling, to nurture that relationship, and to walk confidently in the purpose He has set before you. Everything you have experienced, your loneliness, your deep thoughts, your sensitivity, your vivid dreams, and your unshakable connection to God was never random. Every moment of doubt, every unanswered question, every feeling of being different was not a mistake. It was preparation. James 1:2-4 reminds us, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, lacking nothing." This means that nothing you have endured was in vain. Every trial strengthened you. Every tear watered the seeds of wisdom in your soul, and every hardship refined you like gold in the fire. Your struggles were never meant to break you. They were meant to build you. The pain you felt was shaping you. The moments of rejection were setting you apart. The challenges were molding you into the person God designed you to be. What once seemed like obstacles were actually stepping stones leading you closer to your divine purpose. Now the question is, will you embrace it? Will you allow everything you have endured to fuel your faith, to step forward with confidence, knowing that you were chosen for something greater? The time has come to walk boldly into the life God has prepared for you. Your journey was never meant to end in struggle. It was always meant to lead to victory. Now that you understand the truth, the question is, what will you do with it? Knowing that you are chosen is not just about awareness, it is about action. God did not set you apart without a reason. He did not place this calling upon your life for it to remain dormant. He chose you to be a light in the darkness, a messenger of His love, and a vessel for His divine purpose. You are here to make a difference, to bring hope where there is despair, and to shine in a world that desperately needs God's presence. John 15:16 declares, "You did not choose me, but I chose you, and appointed you that you should go and bear fruit, fruit that will last." This means your calling is not temporary or insignificant. It is eternal. You were chosen to bear fruit, to impact lives, to spread truth, to walk in faith, and to bring others closer to God. This is not just a privilege, it is a responsibility. Now, it is time to step into your divine purpose. No more doubting, no more waiting. The same God who called you will equip you. He will guide you, strengthen you, and lead you toward everything He has prepared for you. The world needs the gifts He has placed inside you. Will you answer the call? Will you rise and walk in the purpose for which you were created? The choice is yours. But remember, you were chosen for such a time as this. If this message has resonated with you, if you recognize these signs in your own life, know this: you are not alone. Many others just like you are awakening to their true purpose. You are part of a greater plan, a divine movement unfolding before our eyes. So, take this message to heart. Embrace it, live it, and share it with those who need to hear it. You were chosen for something extraordinary, something beyond what you can imagine. Now is the time to step forward in faith and claim the purpose that God has placed upon your life. If you are ready to walk in your divine calling, type 99 in the comments. Let this be your declaration of faith and alignment with God's plan. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for answering the call. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a message meant for you. Together, we are stronger. Together, we will fulfill our purpose. What I am about to say might feel like a wake-up call, but it is exactly what you need to hear at this moment. You have been on this journey for a reason, and now the universe is calling you to act. No more waiting, no more hesitating. If you are reading this, it is not by accident. God has led you here. Now is the time to step into your power like never before. This is the moment where your desires transform into your reality. The final assignment is here, and it is non-negotiable. It comes with a challenge. Do it now, no matter the cost. The transformation you have been waiting for is on the other side of this action. It will not be easy, but it will be worth it. This is exactly what you need to shift into the next level of your life. Before we go any further, take a deep breath. Now, do two things. Number 1, hit that like button. Number 2, leave a comment with the words, "Jesus, I am ready." This declaration will send a powerful signal to the universe, amplifying your energy and intention. If you are truly a chosen one, you will stay with me until the end. Deep down, your spirit already knows this is the final assignment you have been waiting for. Once you complete it, nothing in your life will ever be the same. So let's dive in. You are not random. You are chosen. You are called to be messengers of the covenant, the very instruments through which God reveals His promises to the world. This is not a title to boast about, but a responsibility to embrace with reverence and urgency. The Bible declares in Malachi 3:1, "See, I will send my messenger, who will prepare the way before me. Then suddenly the Lord you are seeking will come to His temple. The messenger of the covenant, whom you desire, will come, says the Lord Almighty." This verse is not just history, it is prophecy. It is not just for others, it is for you. You are the fulfillment of God's plan to prepare the way for His presence to be revealed. But before you can carry this holy message, you must first understand what it means to be a messenger, the weight of the covenant you carry, and the fire that fuels your calling. To be a messenger means to be entrusted with a divine responsibility. It requires faith, obedience, and unwavering dedication. The role of a messenger is not simply to deliver words, but to live them, to be a living testimony of God's truth. Throughout history, God has chosen individuals who were willing to surrender their will and embrace His divine purpose. These messengers were not always the strongest, the wisest, or the most qualified by human standards. Instead, they were those who had hearts that were willing, spirits that were obedient, and lives that were surrendered to His will. Look at the great messengers in Scripture. Moses, who led God's people out of captivity despite his own doubts and limitations. Isaiah, who boldly proclaimed the word of the Lord even when faced with opposition. John the Baptist, who prepared the way for Christ with unwavering conviction. and the apostles, who carried the message of the gospel to the ends of the earth despite persecution. Each of these messengers understood the weight of their calling, and they carried it with honor and purpose. As a messenger of the covenant, you are not here by coincidence. Every experience you have had, every challenge you have faced, and every triumph you have celebrated has been preparing you for this moment. The fire within you is not accidental. It is the very presence of God urging you to step forward in faith. But carrying this message is not without its cost. It requires courage, endurance, and absolute trust in God's plan. It means standing firm when the world pushes back, proclaiming truth when others remain silent, and remaining steadfast in faith even when doubt tries to creep in. The question is, are you ready? Are you willing to step into your calling without fear or hesitation? The world is waiting for God's messengers to rise. The time is now. Embrace your purpose, carry the message with boldness, and let the fire of the covenant burn brightly within you. Before I continue, I want to pause and thank each and every one of you for your prayers, unwavering support, and incredible generosity. Most especially, I want to acknowledge those of you who have been giving through the link pinned in the comments below and through the Super Thankful feature. Your actions are a clear sign that you not only love God, but also deeply believe in and love the work we are doing here. You are not just supporters, you are partners, co-laborers in the kingdom of God. Your sacrifices and contributions are a testament to your faith and your heart for the mission God has entrusted us with. And I declare this over your life. God will reward you accordingly in ways beyond what you can imagine or think. Every prayer, every word of encouragement, every gift, and every time you share this message with someone in need is making an eternal impact. Together, we are spreading the good news, touching lives, and sowing seeds of hope, faith, and love. May God continue to bless you richly, enlarge your territory, and cause His face to shine upon you. May He meet you at the point of your need, fulfill the desires of your heart, and multiply every seed you have sown 100-fold. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you for believing in this vision, for standing with us in this journey, and for being an active part of what God is doing through this platform. Let us continue to labor together for the glory of God, knowing that our work in the Lord is not in vain. You are loved. You are valued. You are appreciated. God bless you abundantly. A messenger is someone sent with a message from one party to another. But in God's kingdom, being a messenger is not just about delivering words. It is about being the message. Your life, actions, decisions, and character must align with the truth you proclaim. In ancient times, messengers were trusted servants. Kings did not send just anyone to carry their decrees. They chose individuals who were loyal, reliable, and capable of accurately representing their authority. The same is true with God. You are not chosen because you are perfect. You are chosen because He trusts you to carry His truth faithfully. Imagine a courier delivering a priceless artifact. Their job is not just to deliver the package, but to protect it, ensuring it arrives intact. As a messenger of the covenant, you are carrying something far more precious than gold, the eternal promises of God. You must guard it with your life, ensuring it is not corrupted or diluted. The message you carry is not your own. It belongs to God. This is a critical truth because the authority of a messenger is rooted in the one who sends them. You are not speaking on your own behalf, but as an ambassador of the King of Kings. 2 Corinthians 5:20 declares, "We are therefore Christ's ambassadors, as though God were making His appeal through us." This means that every word you speak, every action you take, and every step of obedience you walk carries the weight of heaven behind it. Let this truth empower you to speak boldly, live righteously, and fulfill your divine mission with unwavering confidence. But being a messenger of the covenant comes with great responsibility. It requires more than words. It demands a life fully surrendered to God's will. You must be willing to live out the message you proclaim. The world is watching, measuring the authenticity of your message by the way you live. If your actions contradict your words, the message loses its power. But when your life aligns with your calling, you become a beacon of truth that draws others toward God. This responsibility also comes with challenges. Messengers throughout history have faced rejection, persecution, and even isolation. John the Baptist prepared the way for Christ with boldness, yet he was imprisoned and ultimately executed. The apostles preached the gospel at great personal cost, facing threats, imprisonment, and martyrdom. Even Jesus himself, the ultimate messenger, was rejected by many and crucified. Carrying God's message will not always be easy, but it will always be worth it. To walk this path, you must develop resilience, perseverance, and unshakable faith. You must be prepared to speak truth even when it is unpopular, to stand firm even when the world pressures you to compromise, and to trust God even when you do not understand His plan. Your strength will come not from yourself, but from the Holy Spirit who empowers you to carry out your mission. So I ask you today, are you ready to accept the call? Are you willing to step fully into your role as a messenger of the covenant, carrying God's truth to a world that desperately needs it? The assignment is before you. The responsibility is great, but so is the reward. Those who remain faithful will hear these words from their Lord. Well done, my good and faithful servant. The world is waiting. God is calling. Will you rise to the occasion? To be an effective messenger, you must embody certain qualities. Let us examine 3 critical traits through the lives of biblical messengers. Number 1. Boldness, like John the Baptist. John the Baptist was the voice crying in the wilderness, preparing the way for the Lord. He confronted sin without fear and proclaimed the coming of the Messiah with boldness. His courage was unwavering, and he did not compromise the truth, even when it led to his imprisonment and death. Boldness does not mean recklessness. It means standing firm in faith even when faced with resistance. As messengers of God, we are called to speak His truth boldly, without fear of rejection or persecution. We must not shy away from delivering God's word, even when it is difficult or unpopular. Number 2. Perseverance. Like Moses faced immense challenges as he delivered God's message to Pharaoh and led the Israelites out of Egypt. Despite constant opposition, he persevered. Moses' journey was not easy. He endured doubt, complaints from his own people, and Pharaoh's stubbornness. Yet, he remained faithful to God's call. This perseverance teaches us that being a messenger requires resilience. There will be obstacles, moments of discouragement and trials that test our faith. However, just as Moses continued forward with unwavering trust in God, we too must press on, knowing that the Lord is with us every step of the way. When you feel like giving up, remember Moses and how he relied on God's strength rather than his own. Number 3. Sacrificial love. Like Jesus is the ultimate messenger of the covenant. He not only proclaimed the message but became the message through his sacrificial death and resurrection. His love for humanity was so profound that he willingly laid down his life for our salvation. This sacrificial love is what sets apart true messengers of God. To be effective, we must be willing to put others before ourselves, to love unconditionally, and to serve without expecting anything in return. Jesus' life was a perfect example of humility, compassion, and selflessness. As messengers, we are called to reflect His love in our words and actions, demonstrating God's grace and mercy to the world. Being a messenger is not just about speaking, it is about living the message. Every aspect of your life should align with God's truth. People should see Christ in the way you love, serve, and remain steadfast in faith. Your actions must reflect the message you proclaim, for a messenger whose life contradicts their words loses credibility. A true messenger is also one who continually seeks God's presence. Spend time in prayer, study the Word, and allow the Holy Spirit to guide you. Being a messenger is not a one-time event. It is a lifelong calling that requires daily surrender to God's will. The world is watching, and your faithfulness can inspire others to seek the truth. So, I ask you, are you ready to accept this call? Will you stand boldly like John the Baptist, persevere like Moses, and love sacrificially like Jesus? The world needs messengers who are not only willing to proclaim God's word, but to live it wholeheartedly. The time is now. Answer the call. Carry the message with boldness, perseverance, and love, knowing that you are chosen for this divine assignment. This is your moment. The world is desperate for truth, hope, and light. You are God's answer to that need. The fire of the covenant burns within you. The question is, will you let it consume you? This is not the time for hesitation. The world is waiting. God is calling. Will you rise as his messenger, ready to carry his covenant to the nations? Will you answer the call with unwavering faith, knowing that your obedience could change lives and impact generations? Many have been called before you, prophets, disciples, and saints who have walked this path with courage and conviction. They faced trials, opposition, and sacrifice, yet they pressed forward because they knew the weight of their calling. You are now among them, entrusted with a mission that carries eternal significance. Let your heart be steadfast. Let your soul be fearless. Stand firm in the truth and let the fire within you shine brightly for all to see. It will not be an easy journey, but God's strength will sustain you. He has already equipped you with everything you need: faith, wisdom, resilience, and his Holy Spirit to guide you. Your time is now. There is no room for doubt, no space for fear. Every great move of God begins with one willing heart. Will you be that heart today? Will you be the voice that speaks truth in a world clouded with confusion? Will you be the light that shines in the darkness? The choice is yours. The world needs you. Heaven is calling. Let's pray together. Heavenly Father, I come before you with a heart open and willing to serve. Thank you for choosing me, for calling me to be a messenger of your truth, hope, and love. I acknowledge the weight of this calling, and I surrender myself completely to your divine will. Lord, ignite within me a holy fire, one that cannot be quenched. Give me boldness like John the Baptist, perseverance like Moses, and sacrificial love like Jesus. Strengthen me in moments of doubt, and let my faith remain unshaken in the face of trials. Fill me with your wisdom, so that every word I speak and every action I take reflects your glory. Let my life be a living testimony of your grace, a light that leads others to you. May I walk in unwavering obedience, trusting that you have equipped me for this mission. Use me, Lord, to bring truth to the lost, hope to the weary, and light to the darkness. In Jesus' name, I pray. Amen. If this message has blessed you, please subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us reach more souls and spread the message of truth, hope, and salvation. Click the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Also, share this message with someone who needs to hear it today. Together we can change lives and expand God's kingdom. May God bless you abundantly for your faithfulness. Thank you for being a part of this journey. Let's continue to shine his light in the world. Amen. Listen carefully, for the words I'm about to share are not born of chance or coincidence. Your name has been chosen in heaven for a cause far beyond your understanding, a divine purpose woven into the eternal plan of the Almighty. What you are hearing now is not just for your ears, but for your heart. It is a message of hope, a revelation of your calling, and a promise of the blessings prepared for you. Do not let doubt turn you away from this moment. Stay steadfast, for this truth has the power to transform your life. 12 angels came before me, each carrying your name, each pleading on your behalf with a love so deep and reverent. They see what you cannot yet see in yourself, a light, a spark, a divine potential that was placed within you before the foundation of the earth was laid. You are more than you believe yourself to be. You are chosen, beloved, a vessel to carry my love, my hope, and my glory to a world in need. If this message has touched your heart, Don't let it stop here. Join this journey of hope and revelation by subscribe to this channel. Let these words inspire you daily, guiding you as you walk in faith and purpose. Together, let us illuminate the world with His love. I see you. I see the thoughts that swirl endlessly in your mind, weighed down by questions, fears, and uncertainties. You carry so much within you, dreams tangled with doubts, hopes shrouded by whispers of insecurity. There are nights when the silence is deafening and doubt creeps in like a shadow, whispering lies that gnaw at your spirit. Why me? You wonder. Why have I been chosen? What have I done to deserve this calling, this attention, this weight of purpose that feels both extraordinary and overwhelming? You search tirelessly for answers that seem just out of reach, hoping for clarity amidst the chaos of your heart. But hear me now, beloved. You are chosen, not because of what you have done, but because of who you are and who I have created you to be. Before you took your first breath, I knew you. I shaped you with care, planting seeds of purpose within you. Your strengths, your struggles, your story, they all matter. They are all a part of the masterpiece I am weaving. You are not defined by your achievements or failures, but by the love I have for you and the purpose I have placed upon your life. I see the burdens you carry, the silent battles no one else notices. The weight presses heavily upon you, doesn't it? Responsibilities stack higher and higher, and some days, it feels like you're carrying the world on your shoulders. I see the tears you cry when no one is watching, the prayers whispered in desperation, the moments when you feel like you're barely holding on. You've given so much, endured so much, and yet the heaviness lingers. But let this truth sink deep into your heart. You were never meant to carry these burdens alone. I am here. I have always been here. I am the one who strengthens you when you are weak, who walks beside you through the valleys, and who carries you when your strength is gone. Every trial you've faced, every tear you've shed, every moment of doubt, it has not been for nothing. Each hardship has been preparing you, refining you, and shaping you for the greater purpose I have planned. Even in the moments when you couldn't see it, I was working for your good, molding you into the person I designed you to be. So, my beloved, rest in this truth. You are not alone. You are chosen. You are loved beyond measure. I am with you now, just as I have always been, and I will carry you through every storm, every uncertainty, and every obstacle that lies ahead. Trust me, for the journey I have set before you is one of hope, promise, and purpose. Step forward, not in fear, but in the confidence that you are held by the one who calls you his own. Your name rose to heaven, not by random chance, but with purpose. Because of the qualities I see in you, qualities that mirror my heart. You may not fully see them yourself, but I do. I see the kindness in your soul, the way you extend love even when it costs you something dear. I see how you choose forgiveness when bitterness feels easier, and how you give generously even when you have little to spare. I see your humility, a rare jewel in a world that often exalts pride and selfishness. You stay grounded, rooted in what is good and true, choosing to honor me even when the world turns away. Your willingness to love when your own heart aches, to comfort others even in your own pain, and to do what is right when no one is watching. These are not mere acts. They are treasures, precious offerings that ripple outward, touching lives in ways you cannot yet imagine. What you may see as small sacrifices, an encouraging word, a quiet prayer, a moment of compassion, have reached farther than you know. They have brought hope to the weary, light to the broken, and joy to those who felt forgotten. Heaven itself has taken notice. The angels spoke your name with reverence, for they see what I see. They see the purity of your heart, the quiet strength of your spirit, and the light you carry within you. A light that pierces through the darkness and warms even the coldest hearts. That light is not of your own making. It is my light, reflected through your life. Every act of love, every moment of obedience, and every step of faith shines brightly, pointing others to me. Your humility is what sets you apart. You do not seek applause, recognition, or the fleeting praise of others. You do what is good and right because it brings joy to my heart, not because it brings you glory. In a world consumed by self-promotion, your humility is a beacon of hope and a testimony to my work within you. This is why your name was lifted before me, why you have been chosen for this calling. But know this: you are not chosen because you are perfect. I do not seek perfection, for I know that none can achieve it apart from me. You are chosen because you are willing to trust, to follow and to obey, even when the road ahead seems uncertain. I do not ask for perfection. I ask for your heart, and through your willingness I will pour out blessings that will not only change your life, but will also touch the lives of countless others. My beloved, trust in this truth. Your life has meaning, your actions have purpose, and your name is precious to me. Through you, I will mend broken hearts, bring light to dark places, and restore hope where it has been lost. Walk forward in faith, knowing that my strength will sustain you, and my love will surround you. You were chosen not by accident, but with great care and intention. Let this truth guide you, for I am with you always. The cause for which you have been chosen is neither small nor insignificant. It is part of a divine plan, one that stretches far beyond what your eyes can see or your mind can comprehend. This plan intricately weaves together every moment of your life, your triumphs, your heartbreaks, your victories, and your struggles, into a tapestry of purpose so magnificent that it could only be the work of divine hands. Nothing you have experienced has been random or wasted. Each thread, carefully placed, contributes to something greater than you could ever imagine. Through you, my love will flow into the lives of those who feel unseen and forgotten. My hope will rise like a beacon in the hearts of the brokenhearted, and my glory will pierce the darkest places, bringing light and restoration. You are not just a participant in this plan. You are a vessel, uniquely crafted to carry out a sacred purpose. I have chosen you to be a conduit of my love, my hope, and my power. Do not let thoughts of inadequacy cloud your vision. The fears that whisper, "You are not enough," or "You cannot do this," are lies designed to paralyze you and keep you from stepping into your calling. Hear this truth. What you perceive as weaknesses, I see as the very places where my strength will shine brightest. It is in your moments of doubt and struggle that my power is perfected. My beloved, understand this. When I choose someone, I do not call them because they are already qualified. I qualify those I have chosen. Your flaws, your fears, and even your failures do not disqualify you from this purpose. On the contrary, they are vital pieces of your testimony, a living testament to what I can accomplish through a willing and surrendered heart. The trials you have faced, the lessons you have learned, and the growth you have experienced are all preparing you to fulfill this calling. Trust that I do not make mistakes. If I have called you, it is because I know you are capable, not in your own strength, but through mine. So walk boldly, my child. Do not shrink back in fear, for you do not walk this path alone. My strength will uphold you, my wisdom will guide you, and my love will sustain you. Through you, lives will be touched, wounds will be healed, and hope will be restored. My name will be glorified in ways beyond what you can envision. You have been chosen, not by accident, but by divine design. Trust in me, for I will equip you for every step of the journey. When you feel overwhelmed, lean into me. When doubts arise, remember that I am the source of your strength. You are my beloved, chosen for such a time as this. Step forward with courage, for the work I have begun in you, I will bring to completion. Beloved, your journey will not be without challenges. There will be moments when the weight of the calling feels too heavy to bear, when doubt whispers louder than faith, and when you question whether you are capable of fulfilling the purpose I have placed before you. In those moments, do not let fear or uncertainty overwhelm you. Instead, remember this unshakable truth. You are not alone. I am with you, guiding your steps, equipping you for every challenge and providing for every need. Each act of faith, no matter how small, will uncover more of the plan I have designed specifically for you. With each step, doors will open that no one can shut. Paths will appear where none seem possible. Opportunities will arise that exceed your imagination. Relationships that were broken will be restored, and healing will flow into your life like a mighty river. The blessings I have prepared for you, blessings that the enemy sought to take away, are safely held in my hands and will be revealed at the perfect time. Through you, lives will be transformed. Your light, the one I have placed within you, will shine brightly, bringing hope to the hopeless, healing to the broken, and salvation to those in need. You will be my hands and feet, my voice and heart, carrying my love into a world desperate for it. This calling is not a burden, my beloved. It is a privilege. To be chosen and used by me is the greatest honor, for it means you are part of something eternal. You are part of my divine plan to bring light into darkness and life into despair. Walk forward in faith, for I am with you, and together we will do great things. I know you wonder, what happens next? How will I know what to do? These questions swirl in your mind, and the uncertainty can feel overwhelming. But my beloved, you do not need to have all the answers right now. Trust me. Trust that I am leading you, step by step, even when the path ahead seems unclear. Each step of faith you take, no matter how small, will bring you closer to the fulfillment of the plan I have designed for you. When the way is clouded and the answers seem far away, rest in the knowledge that I am working behind the scenes. I am orchestrating every detail, aligning every moment, and weaving everything together for your good and for my glory. You may not see it now, but my hand is in every part of your journey. The enemy will try to fill your mind with lies. He will whisper that you are not enough, that you are too broken, too flawed, too insignificant. Do not believe those lies. They are meant to keep you from stepping into the greatness I have placed within you. Remember this: you are chosen not because of what you can do, but because of what I can do through you. My strength is sufficient for every weakness you feel. My grace is enough to cover every shortcoming. You are not called to rely on your own ability, but on mine. Lean into my strength, for it is in your moments of weakness that my power shines the brightest. Take the next step in faith, beloved, knowing that I am with you. Trust in my timing, trust in my plan, and trust that you are never walking this path alone. In this season, I am teaching you how to pray, not just with words, but with a heart aligned to my will. Prayer is not about presenting a list of requests, but about communion with me, about aligning your heart with mine. Let your prayers be filled with surrender, trust, and gratitude. Here is how you will pray. Father, I come before you with a heart that is open and humble. I surrender my plans, my fears, and my doubts to you. Teach me to trust your timing, to walk in obedience even when the path is unclear. Help me to see the beauty in the unknown, knowing that you are leading me. Lord, I do not ask for clarity, but for faithfulness. I do not seek success, but the strength to carry out your will. Refine me, mold me, and use me as a vessel of your love and grace. Let my life be a reflection of your goodness, a testament to your glory. Teach me to love as you love, to serve as you serve, and to trust as you trust. When I am weak, remind me that your strength is made perfect in my weakness. When I feel lost, guide me with your light. When I am overwhelmed, be my refuge and fortress. I thank you, Lord, for choosing me, for equipping me, and for walking beside me. May my life bring you honor, and may every step I take lead me closer to you. In Jesus' name, amen. Beloved, a new season is upon you, a season of unveiling, where the purpose of your calling will become clear. The gifts I have placed within you, some long hidden and others yet to be discovered, will come to light as you walk in obedience. As you step forward in faith, you will see lives touched, hearts healed, and spirits renewed through the love and light you carry. Do not underestimate the power of what you have already been doing. The work of my kingdom is not about grand gestures, but about love. It is built in the quiet moments of compassion, in the unseen acts of kindness, in the words of truth spoken with tenderness. These small yet profound acts are the foundation of my plan, and you have been part of this work, even when you didn't realize it. Every choice to love, to forgive, and to serve has echoed into eternity. Do not fear the magnitude of your calling. It may feel overwhelming, but remember, you are never alone. I am with you, guiding your steps, empowering your actions, and surrounding you with my love. Trust in my plan, for it is designed to prosper you, to fill you with hope, and to lead you into a future rich with purpose. Beloved, you are mine, and I am yours forever. Your journey is only just beginning, and the best is yet to come. Walk boldly in faith, trust fully in my guidance, and let your heart rest in the certainty that you are deeply loved. The angels rejoice over you, for you are chosen, cherished, and called. Let this truth strengthen you as you step into the fullness of the season ahead. If this message has spoken to your heart, we invite you to subscribe to this channel. Join us as we continue to explore God's love and purpose together. Thank you for being here. We're honored to walk alongside you on this journey. There is something profoundly unsettling about the silence that follows a storm. Not the kind that brings relief, but the kind that whispers an even greater catastrophe is approaching. Too often, people mistake the eye of the hurricane for the end rather than the warning. Throughout history, civilizations, nations, and even individuals have thrived under the presence of the divinely assigned, often without realizing it. They mistake grace for coincidence, protection for luck, and divine warnings for background noise. And then one day, the chosen are gone. The voices that spoke the truth, even when no one wanted to hear it, the ones who carried a presence that defied explanation, the ones who disrupted what needed disturbing, vanish. Just like that. And what follows is not a mere void, but a reckoning, a shift, a collapse that no one saw coming. If you think this is just a metaphor, think again. History proves it. The sudden absence of key individuals often precedes major events: collapse, war, chaos, and judgment. When Lot left Sodom, fire followed. When Jesus left the temple, destruction came. Even in modern times, societies only recognize the importance of certain figures when the damage becomes irreversible. If you once laughed at the chosen, ignored their words, dismissed their presence as nothing more than a passing shadow, this may be the moment you start paying attention. Because when God decides their mission is complete and it's time for them to leave, their exit is not just a disappearance. It is an event, and what follows, no one wants to see. God's chosen ones don't move through life unnoticed. Their presence alone forces people to make a choice, align with truth or resist it. They disrupt systems, shatter false narratives, and challenge spiritual complacency. They make people uncomfortable, often without even trying. This is why the chosen often experience rejection, betrayal, and resistance. Not because they are wrong, but because they are doing exactly what they were sent to do. They weren't placed here to make peace with dysfunction. They were sent to expose it. Their mission was never about being liked. It was about reminding the world that darkness has an expiration date. But here's the truth. Their time is limited. They were never meant to stay in one place forever. And when God removes them, it is not an afterthought. It is a calculated move. Some will realize their absence too late. Others will finally understand that what they resisted was the only thing keeping judgment at bay. The chosen weren't here for comfort. They were here to collide with what was never meant to stand. And when their purpose is fulfilled, their removal isn't a retreat. It is a statement. Leaving does not mean losing. It does not mean failure or surrender. When God pulls his chosen ones out, it is not because they were too weak to stay. It is because their work was already done. They were never called to fix everything, only to shift the atmosphere. And once that's done, their removal is not just necessary, it is strategic. Some might see their departure as abandonment. Others might assume they were never as powerful as they seemed. But that's the mistake people always make. They assume that the chosen are meant to hold up the weight of everything indefinitely, that their prayers, their presence, their very existence keeps things from falling apart. But in reality, they were only ever meant to be a warning, a catalyst, a temporary shield. Once they are gone, the consequences of what was ignored, dismissed, or fought against will come full force. People rarely understand the significance of someone's presence until that presence is removed. And when the chosen are gone, things don't just stay the same, they unravel. Not because the chosen wanted destruction, but because their departure is proof that grace has shifted. God does not place his chosen randomly. They are assigned to specific places, people, and moments for a defined purpose. They are the answer to a crisis, one that most do not even recognize until it's too late. But they were never meant to stay. Their role was temporary. Their mission had a deadline, and their presence was a divine response to a problem that wouldn't be addressed any other way. Once that problem is handled, whether by exposing it, shifting it, or giving people a final chance to change, there is no reason for them to remain. The mistake people make? Assuming that the chosen will always be there. They take for granted the wisdom, the covering, the warnings. Some even resent or resist them, assuming that no matter what, they will always be around, until one day they're not. That's when reality sets in. The peace they dismissed, gone. The supernatural favor they never acknowledged, lifted. The silent protection they didn't even realize was shielding them, removed. That's when they realize the chosen weren't just another voice, another presence, another person. They were the reason things hadn't fallen apart sooner. And now, they are gone. People love the idea of being chosen by God until they realize what it actually means. It does not mean applause, admiration, or acceptance. It means walking into places where you are not wanted and saying things people do not want to hear. It means being labeled as difficult, extreme, or even dangerous. Not because you are wrong, but because you refuse to be silent. History proves it. Prophets weren't celebrated. They were stoned, exiled, and murdered. Jesus himself, the greatest of all, wasn't embraced. He was betrayed, falsely accused, and crucified by the very people he came to save. So why would it be different for those he sends? The chosen are not assigned to comfort people in their illusions. They are sent to tear them down, to expose lies, to shake up systems, to remind the world that God is watching. But here's the problem. People love darkness more than light. They don't want to be awakened. They want to be left alone. So when a chosen one steps in, carrying truth like a sword, resistance is inevitable. The rejection isn't personal, it's prophetic. There is a painful reality that every chosen one must accept. Not everyone will change, no matter how much truth they receive. You can preach, warn, pray, and pour everything you have into people, but some will never wake up, not because they don't understand, but because they don't want to. It's easy to believe that if you just say the right words or show people enough love, they will open their eyes. But the truth is, some hearts are set in stone. Some people aren't asleep. They are actively resisting the truth because it threatens their comfort, their power, or their illusions. No matter how hard you try, you cannot force transformation that only God can bring. Your mission was never about fixing the world. It was about giving the world a chance. Every word you spoke, every warning you gave, every moment you spent trying to wake people up, that wasn't for your own satisfaction. It was so that when the time comes, when everything they ignored finally collapses, they won't be able to say, "I didn't know." It's not your job to make people listen. It's your job to deliver the message. Whether they accept it or reject it is between them and God. Some will change, some won't. But either way, you did what you were sent to do. Everything you went through, the betrayals, the rejection, the isolation, the suffering, was never just about you. It wasn't punishment, bad luck, or random hardship. It was a message. You were a living prophecy, a warning in human form. God's chosen ones don't just speak truth, they become it. They carry the weight of the message in their own lives, their own wounds, their own struggles. Before they ever open their mouths, their existence preaches a sermon. People may ignore your words, but they cannot ignore the evidence written on your life. That's why the attacks came. That's why people turned on you. Why you were misunderstood. Why doors closed that should have opened. Not because you were wrong, but because your life exposed what others wanted to keep hidden. You didn't just talk about endurance, you endured. You didn't just warn about betrayal, you lived through it. You didn't just speak of rejection, you felt it firsthand. Your suffering was the proof. Some will wake up because of your pain. Others will ignore it until they experience it themselves. But either way, your suffering wasn't wasted. Your scars are not just wounds. They are evidence that you carried the message. You weren't sent just to warn people. You were sent to become the warning. People don't always recognize what they have until it's gone. They hear, but they don't listen. They see, but they don't understand. And then one day you're no longer there. No more warnings, no more prayers, no more presence holding things together. That's when reality hits. Your absence is not just a disappearance, it's a divine announcement. The people who dismissed you will start to notice the difference. The peace they took for granted, gone. The protection they didn't even realize was covering them, lifted. The wisdom they rolled their eyes at suddenly makes sense. This is how God works. He removes his chosen ones not just to protect them, but to wake up those who refuse to listen while they had the chance. Some will reflect and realize they made a mistake. Others will scramble to find someone else to fill the void. But it won't be the same, because what you carried wasn't just knowledge or kindness, it was a divine assignment. And assignments can't be replaced by convenience. The silence you leave behind will be louder than any words you ever spoke, because now, people aren't just hearing what you said, they are feeling the absence of what you carried. And that is the real warning. When God removes his chosen, it is not just for their benefit, it is a shift in the spiritual landscape, a divine recalibration, a warning sign that what follows will not be pleasant. Your presence was not just about your mission. It was a covering, an opportunity, and a grace period for those around you. When you leave, it is not just your life that changes. It is the atmosphere, the destiny of those who failed to heed the call, the structures that refuse to correct themselves. God does not remove his chosen without reason. It is always a sign that something significant is about to unfold, whether people are ready for it or not. The world does not understand the cost of ignoring the chosen until the consequences come full circle, and by then, it is too late. There will always be those who refuse to see, those who think they can silence the messengers and avoid the message. But history shows otherwise. When God removes his chosen, what follows is judgment. Not because the chosen wished for destruction, but because their presence was holding back the storm. Some people were only protected because of the prayers of the chosen. Some businesses thrived because of the favor they carried. Some communities stood strong because of the spiritual foundation they established. When they are gone, the covering is gone. And what remains is the consequence of rejection. This is the moment when everything shifts. When grace is no longer an option. When people who thought they had more time realize they don't. The reckoning is here, and the world will feel the difference. Your time here was never meant to be indefinite. You were sent. You fulfilled your mission. And now the departure is not a loss. It is a fulfillment of divine timing. For those who recognized you, they will be strengthened. For those who dismissed you, they will learn through absence what they failed to grasp in presence. You were a voice, a shield, a warning. And now it is time to go. Walk forward with confidence, knowing you have done your part. And for those left behind, the truth will be undeniable. The chosen were here, and the world will never be the same again. Listen, chosen ones. The veil between heaven and earth is thinner than you think. The unseen realm is closer than your mind can comprehend. The four angels have been watching, waiting, and preparing for this moment. This is not a call given by chance, nor were you born into this time without purpose. You have felt it, the pull, the weight, the knowing that you are different, that you are set apart, that your soul does not align with the patterns of this world. You have questioned why your journey has been so intense. You have wondered why people misunderstand you, why suffering has followed you like a shadow, why you see things others do not. The answer is simple. You were chosen before the foundation of the world to walk a path only a few can carry. You have been trained in the fire, refined through trials, and prepared for an hour such as this. Now heaven has sent them, the four angels. They do not come with empty words, but with divine revelation. Secrets that will unlock the doors that have remained closed in your understanding. Words that will shake your spirit awake and call forth the destiny that has been waiting for you to step into it. But be warned. These words are not for the faint-hearted. They are not for those who cling to the comfort of the crowd. They are for you, the 144,000, the remnant, the ones who know in their bones that they were made for more. The four angels have arrived, and they bring four messages. Each one is a revelation. Each one is an awakening. Each one is a call to rise. Message 1. Look into your life. The first angel descends, his presence shaking the very fabric of reality. His voice thunders through the heavens, cutting through every illusion, every falsehood, every deception that has kept you bound. His words are not gentle. They are a sword, dividing truth from lies, awakening you from the slumber of this world. The world has lied to you. From the moment you opened your eyes to this world, you were conditioned to believe in a life that was never meant for you. You were handed a script, told how to think, how to behave, how to measure your worth. The systems of men whispered their illusions into your ears, false hopes, empty pursuits, meaningless struggles disguised as purpose. They led you down paths that were never yours, convincing you to spend your days chasing after things that do not matter. They told you that success was the goal, that wealth would bring you peace, that recognition would fill the void inside you. But what have these things truly given you? Do you not see the deception? The endless pursuit of things that never satisfy? The hunger that remains no matter how much you consume? You have been trained to exhaust yourself in a race that leads to nowhere, striving for approval from those who do not even see you, working tirelessly for rewards that turn to dust in your hands. Now look into your life. Strip away the distractions, silence the noise, let go of every expectation, every false belief, every empty promise that has kept you bound. What remains? Chosen one, you were never meant to fit into this world. That restless feeling inside of you, the sense that something is missing, that you do not belong, that no matter what you do, you cannot seem to find peace. It is not a curse. It is a sign. The reason you feel disconnected is because your spirit was never designed to be trapped by the lies of men. You have always known deep down that something was off, that the way the world works does not feel right, that the things people chase after do not truly matter. You have sensed the illusion, even if you could not fully name it. The world told you to chase success, but success was a cage. The world told you to seek validation, but validation was a leash. The world told you to follow their path, but their path led to emptiness. Do you see it now? You were never meant to bow to a broken system. You were never meant to be controlled by the opinions of the blind. You were never meant to trade your divine calling for temporary pleasures that drain your soul. That is why you feel like an outsider. That is why you have never truly fit in. That is why the things that satisfy others leave you feeling empty, because you were set apart from the beginning. But knowing this is not enough. You must act. To awaken fully, you must be willing to let go of the illusions that still grip you. Every lie you hold on to will keep you bound. Every false belief you refuse to release will keep you asleep. This is your moment of reckoning. What are you holding on to that no longer serves you? What habits, relationships, and mindsets have been keeping you asleep? Look deeply. Be honest with yourself. The truth is waiting for you, but it cannot be received by those who still cling to deception. Heaven is waiting for your answer. You must decide. Will you remain entangled in the falsehoods of this world, or will you awaken to the truth? The first revelation has been given. Now, you must act. Message 2. Stand apart. The second angel descends, and the very air trembles beneath the weight of his words. His presence is overwhelming, his voice like fire that burns away every doubt, every insecurity, every lingering desire to belong where you were never meant to fit in. Do you not see? The world does not love you because it was never meant to. You have felt it, haven't you? The rejection, the isolation, the loneliness, the misunderstanding. You have carried the weight of being different, of walking a path that few understand. You have wondered why you never truly fit in, why people look at you with suspicion, why they mock you, exclude you, push you to the side. But listen carefully, chosen one. It was never random. The world cannot recognize you because your spirit does not belong to it. The moment you stepped into your divine identity, you became unrecognizable to those who are still bound by the illusions of this world. They sense what you are, even if they do not understand it. You are marked for something higher, and the darkness knows it. The enemy has seen your light from the moment you were born. He has watched you, knowing that you were dangerous to his kingdom. That is why you have been attacked. That is why you have been slandered. That is why people have turned against you, even when you did nothing to deserve it. You have walked alone not because you were forgotten, but because you were chosen. But listen, chosen one. Your loneliness was preparation. Every rejection, every betrayal, every moment of isolation was not a punishment. It was refinement. The fire you endured was stripping away every false dependency, every need for human approval, every desire to conform. You were not meant to live for the acceptance of men. You were meant to stand before God. The world has tried to make you feel like an outcast, like you were unworthy, like there was something wrong with you. But they were afraid of you. They feared your light. They feared the way you carried truth. They feared the way you walked into a room and shifted the atmosphere without saying a word. They saw something in you that you had not yet seen in yourself. And so they tried to silence you, to make you doubt yourself, to make you question whether you truly had a place. But the time for apologizing is over. The time for shrinking yourself to make others comfortable is over. The time for dimming your light is over. You were never sent here to be liked. You were sent here to disrupt. So stand apart. Let them talk. Let them misunderstand. Let them stare. Their opinions do not matter. You have spent too long trying to explain yourself to those who will never understand you. You have exhausted yourself seeking acceptance from people who were never meant to see you. You have questioned yourself when you should have been standing boldly in who you are. Enough. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to be set apart. This is not a punishment. This is your calling. The world does not reject its own. It rejects those who do not belong to it. And you, chosen one, were never meant to belong. So stop trying. Stop doubting. Stop questioning whether you should change yourself to fit into a world that was never designed for you. You were chosen. You were called. You were sent. The second revelation has been given. Now, you must embrace it. Message 3. Obey without delay. The third angel descends, and the atmosphere shifts. His presence is heavy, filled with urgency. The heavens tremble as his voice cuts through the hesitation that has kept you bound. There is no softness in his tone, no room for doubt, only a command that pierces your soul like lightning. Enough waiting, enough second-guessing, enough asking for another sign. You already know what you are meant to do. Now do it. How long have you waited, chosen one? How many nights have you spent wondering if you are truly called? How many signs have you received only to question them the next day? You have felt the pull. You have heard the whispers. You have seen the signs written in your circumstances, in your dreams, in the depths of your spirit, and yet you hesitate. You wonder if you are ready. You question if you have what it takes. You tell yourself that you need more clarity, more confirmation, more proof before you move. But hear this now. Delay is the enemy's greatest weapon against you. Every moment you wait, doubt takes root. Every moment you hesitate, fear gains power. Every moment you stay still, doors close that were meant to be yours. You think you are being careful, that you are waiting for the perfect moment. But there will never be a perfect moment. The enemy wants you trapped in hesitation, paralyzed by uncertainty, waiting for a sign that has already been given. Yes, the road ahead is uncertain. Yes, stepping into the unknown is terrifying. But listen, your obedience will unlock miracles. You have prayed for answers, for direction, for breakthrough. But what if the answer has already been given? What if the miracle you seek will not come in the way you expect, but through your movement, through your faith, through your willingness to act, even when you do not see the whole picture? The provision you need will not come before you move. It will meet you on the road of obedience. Do you understand? You must step first. Then the path will unfold. Abraham did not see the promised land before he left his home. Moses did not see the Red Sea part before he lifted his staff. Peter did not see the water hold him before he stepped out of the boat. Faith has always required movement. You cannot wait until you feel ready, because you will never feel ready. Readiness is a lie that keeps you stagnant. Those who are called never feel fully prepared, but they move anyway. This is your moment. This is your turning point. The choice is before you. Will you let fear dictate your future? Will you allow hesitation to rob you of your calling? Or will you rise in faith, step forward, and trust that heaven will meet you where you go? The third revelation has been given. Now you must step forward. Message 4. Speak the truth. The fourth angel descends and fire pours from his lips. His presence ignites the air, his voice carrying the weight of eternity. The heavens seem to tremble as he speaks, and the earth itself responds to the power of his words. Your voice will shake the earth. You were not given eyes to see just for yourself. You were not given wisdom to keep silent. You were not given truth to keep it locked inside your heart. You were given sight so you could speak. You were given wisdom so you could reveal. You were given truth so you could declare it to the world. Now, open your mouth, chosen one. For too long, the enemy has tried to silence you. He has whispered lies into your mind, telling you that your words do not matter, that no one will listen, that no one will care, that your voice is too small, too insignificant, too powerless to make a difference. But listen to the truth now. Your voice was anointed before you were born. Before you took your first breath, heaven placed a calling upon you. Your words were destined to break chains. Your testimony was meant to set captives free. Your voice was never meant to be small. It was meant to echo across the earth, to awaken the sleeping, to call forth the chosen, to declare that the kingdom of heaven is near. And yet, you have held back. You have hesitated. You have questioned yourself. You have wondered if you should remain silent, if you should keep the truth to yourself, if you should wait for a time when it feels safer to speak. But there will never be a safer time. Do not whisper when you were meant to roar. Do not hide when you were meant to stand. You do not speak to please. You do not speak to be accepted. You speak to break chains. You speak to awaken. You speak because you were sent. The world is drowning in deception, and the enemy has worked tirelessly to keep the truth suppressed. If you do not speak, who will? If you do not rise, who will take your place? This is not just about you. There are people waiting for the words that only you can speak. There are souls in darkness who will never find the light unless you are bold enough to shine it. There are captives whose chains will never be broken unless you open your mouth and declare the truth. Heaven has given you a voice, and now heaven is commanding you to use it. The fourth revelation has been given. Now you must proclaim it. These messages have been delivered, and you have heard them. The words have stirred something deep within you, awakening what has long been dormant. But now, you must decide. To delay is to deny. To hesitate is to surrender ground to the enemy. You would not be drawn to these words if you were not meant to hear them. You would not feel this stirring in your soul if you were not part of something greater. This is your confirmation. This is your call. This is your moment. The time for waiting is over. The time for questioning is done. Heaven has spoken, and heaven is waiting for your response. Will you shrink back, or will you step forward? Will you remain in doubt, or will you rise in faith? Will you stay silent, or will you speak the truth that was placed inside of you? The four angels have spoken. The path has been revealed. The choice is yours. Now, chosen one, will you rise? Amen and amen. If these words have ignited something in your spirit, if you feel the call to step into your purpose, do not keep this message to yourself. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel so that more chosen ones can awaken. Leave a comment below and declare, I will rise. Together, we will shake the earth. The time is now. If you are watching this video, understand that it is by divine design. You did not stumble upon this message by accident. God led you here because something powerful is about to unfold in your life. The delay is over. The barriers are breaking, and the promises that seemed distant are now within your reach. For too long, you have watched others rise while you remained in the shadows. You have endured the pain of waiting, the burden of expectations unfulfilled, and the weight of dreams deferred. You have prayed. You have sacrificed. You have fought battles in silence. But hear this clearly. Your season of waiting is over. Every closed door, every missed opportunity, every setback was not a rejection but a preparation. God was refining you, strengthening you, and positioning you for something greater than you ever imagined. And now, the time has come. This is more than just a financial breakthrough. This is about divine timing, supernatural acceleration, and stepping into the fullness of your destiny. The destiny written for you before you even took your first breath. The enemy tried to hold you back. Circumstances tried to break you. But you endured. You remained faithful even when everything around you told you to quit. And because of that faithfulness, God is about to reward you in ways that will leave those around you speechless. But before we go any further, take a moment to activate this shift in your life. Like this message, comment 11 as a declaration of alignment with divine timing, and subscribe to ensure you never miss what God is about to do in your life. The universe, the divine, and every force working on your behalf are now moving at full speed. If you ever believed the struggle would last forever, if you ever questioned whether your prayers were heard, listen carefully. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. God has not forgotten you. He has seen the silent tears you cried when no one was watching. He has heard the prayers you whispered in the dark, the ones you weren't even sure reached heaven. He has felt the weight of your struggles, the exhaustion in your spirit, and the moments when you gave, even when you had nothing left. He witnessed the nights you pressed forward despite your weariness, the days when everything inside of you screamed to quit, yet you chose to hold on. Every battle you fought in silence, every moment of pain, and every season of waiting were not in vain. They were not meant to break you, but to prepare you. Your faith has been tested, your endurance refined, and your spirit strengthened. What once seemed like endless delays were actually moments of divine alignment, positioning you for a victory that will be undeniable. And now, the time has come for you to reap what you have sown. The disappointments, the setbacks, the hardships, they are no longer your story. You are stepping into a new reality. The old version of you, the one who doubted, the one who struggled, the one who felt unworthy, no longer exists. That person is gone. You are rising. You are stepping into a life where abundance is your portion, where lack is no longer your story, and where God's divine favor follows you in everything you do. This is your season. This is your moment. And nothing, no force in this world, can stop what God has set in motion. Walk forward in faith, with confidence and boldness, knowing that everything is aligning for your highest good. The very things you once prayed for are now manifesting. What once felt impossible is now within reach. Get ready, because this is just the beginning of something greater than you ever imagined. You have endured the hardships, the doubts, and the setbacks, but hear this: every challenge was a refining fire, molding you into the person you were always meant to be. Nothing you have gone through was wasted. Every tear, every moment of uncertainty, every painful waiting season, it all had a purpose. Your pain was not in vain. It was preparation. Your waiting was not wasted. It was alignment. And now, God is about to pour blessings into your life in ways you never expected. Doors that once seemed permanently closed will suddenly swing open. Opportunities will appear in places where you once saw only obstacles. The very people who doubted you, who ridiculed your faith, and who dismissed your potential will watch in amazement as you rise beyond their expectations. But this elevation is not about revenge. It is not about proving anyone wrong or seeking validation. This is about God's glory shining through you in a way that no one can ignore. When God blesses His chosen ones, He does it in a way that leaves no room for doubt, so that the world knows it was His hand that made it happen. And understand this: abundance is not just about wealth. It is about peace that cannot be shaken. It is about walking in your true purpose. It is about stepping boldly into the divine calling placed on your life before you even took your first breath. When you stop seeking approval from the world and start walking in full alignment with God's plan, that is when the floodgates of prosperity open. What you once chased will now chase you. What you once longed for will now be drawn to you effortlessly, because you are moving in divine alignment. So prepare yourself. The struggles that once defined your life are now part of your testimony. What once seemed impossible is now inevitable. Everything that has been working against you is now shifting in your favor. Everything that felt scattered is now aligning. Everything that appeared broken is now coming together in divine order. God is about to move in your life in a way that will leave you speechless. The season of waiting is over. The season of breakthroughs has begun. Get ready. You may have been overlooked, underestimated, and even betrayed, but understand this: every bit of it was necessary for this moment. The people who dismissed you, the ones who doubted your potential and ridiculed your faith, will soon witness firsthand how God's favor works. But their recognition is not what you need, and their validation was never required. The only approval that matters is God's, and He has already chosen you. Your journey is not just about you. Your breakthrough is meant to inspire, to uplift, and to remind others that faith, perseverance, and divine alignment always lead to victory. Your testimony will bring hope to those who are still in their waiting season, proving that God is always faithful. So stand tall, chosen one. Everything that was meant to break you has only made you stronger. The struggle, the moments of just barely getting by, the nights of questioning if you would ever see the light, it is over. God is opening doors you never even knew existed. He is placing you in rooms you never thought you would enter. The things you once longed for, prayed for, and fought for are now within your grasp. This is not just another season. This is your season of overflow, abundance, and divine transformation. The enemy tried to trap you in a cycle of lack, doubt, and fear, but those chains are breaking. You are stepping into generational wealth, divine opportunities, and a future far greater than anything you imagined. But with this blessing comes a responsibility to be wise, discerning, and steadfast. Not everyone will be happy for you. Not everyone will celebrate your breakthrough. Some will question, why you? Some will wonder, why now? But their opinions hold no power over what God has ordained. Do not waste your time explaining yourself to those who will never understand. Do not look back at the people who tried to keep you small. They will watch from the sidelines as you step into your abundance. And when they ask how it happened, when they wonder why you, the answer will be simple. Because God said so. What is happening in your life right now is not just a one-time blessing. This is a continuous flow of divine favor. This is not temporary, not fleeting, not here today and gone tomorrow. This is overflow. You have been tested in the fire, refined through trials, and shaped by seasons of waiting where it seemed like everything was working against you. But through it all, God was preparing you, strengthening you, and molding you into the person who could carry the weight of the blessing that is now being released. Now, because you remained steadfast, because you refused to give up when giving up seemed like the only option, you are stepping into a life of abundance. What once seemed impossible is now your reality. The doors that were once shut are now wide open. The opportunities you never thought would come are now falling into place effortlessly. Everything that was delayed is now being delivered. But remember this wealth, this success, this breakthrough. It is not just for you. It is for a higher purpose. God is blessing you so that you can be a blessing. He is entrusting you with influence, resources, and opportunities, not for selfish gain, but so that you can impact lives, uplift others, and be a living testimony of His faithfulness. This is bigger than material wealth. This is legacy. This is kingdom work. This is destiny unfolding. Walk boldly into this new season, but walk with wisdom. Remain humble, remain grateful, and never forget that every good thing in your life is a gift from above. This is your time. Step into it with confidence, knowing that God has prepared you for this exact moment. He is giving you influence, resources, and opportunities, not for selfish gain, but so that you can be a beacon of His power and love. What is happening in your life is not just about personal success. It is about God's glory being revealed through you. When people see your elevation, they will know, this was not luck, this was not human effort, this was the hand of God. Everything you have endured, every challenge you have overcome, has led you to this exact moment. Get ready, chosen one. This is it. This is your moment. This is your breakthrough. This is the shift you have been waiting for. Everything that once worked against you is now aligning in your favor. The right people, the right opportunities, the right resources. All of it is coming together in divine order. The delays are over. The obstacles that once seemed impossible to move are now clearing before your eyes. What was once a dream is now a reality. One day, you will look back at this very moment and realize it was the turning point. The moment everything changed. The moment when the waiting ended, the doors opened, and the breakthrough you had been praying for finally arrived. You will remember this as the day you stepped into your divine destiny. So do not hesitate. Do not shrink back. Do not let fear or doubt hold you captive. You have not come this far just to stop now. Everything you have endured, every battle you have fought, and every tear you have shed has led you to this very moment. This is not just about material wealth. It is about legacy, purpose, and generational blessings. What God is doing through you will not stop with you. Your obedience, your faith, and your endurance are paving the way for those who will come after you. The chains of struggle, lack, and limitation that have bound your family for generations are breaking with you. God is not just blessing you for your own sake. He is using you to create a ripple effect of abundance that will flow for generations. What was once locked is now open. The barriers that once stood in your way are being removed. The very opportunities you thought were out of reach are now appearing before you. What once seemed distant is now within your grasp. The dreams you carried in your heart, the prayers you whispered in faith, the visions that felt too big, they are now becoming your reality. This is your time. Not tomorrow, not someday, right now. This is the season where divine alignment meets divine acceleration. Everything is shifting in your favor, and nothing can stop what God has set in motion. Step into it. Claim it. Own it. Walk boldly, with your head held high, knowing that you were made for this moment. God has positioned you for victory, and nothing will ever be the same again. The struggles of the past are behind you, and the abundance of the future is ahead. This is your season of victory. Walk into it with confidence, for you are chosen, you are favored, and your time has come. As you step into this new season, remember who you are and who has called you. You are not here by accident. God has chosen you, prepared you, and positioned you for such a time as this. The struggles, the waiting, the disappointments, they were all part of the process, shaping you into the person who can now walk boldly in abundance, purpose, and divine favor. So move forward with confidence and faith. Do not let fear hold you back. Do not allow doubt to rob you of what is already yours. This is your season, your moment, your divine breakthrough. And as you rise, may your testimony be a light to others, a reminder that God's promises are always fulfilled in His perfect timing. If this message has resonated with you, take a moment to activate this shift in your life. Like this video, comment, "I receive it," and subscribe so you never miss another word of encouragement. Your journey is just beginning, and we are here to walk it with you. Thank you for being part of this community. Your best days are ahead. Get ready, because what God has set in motion, nothing can stop. What if the suffering you endured wasn't random, but calculated? What if every betrayal, every humiliation, every unthinkable cruelty was not just a string of misfortunes, but a cosmic test? A trial designed to break you down before molding you into someone the world could never ignore. Here's a chilling truth. History's greatest icons, revolutionaries, inventors, visionaries, share a common thread. Their journeys did not begin in privilege or ease. No, they began in torment. Nikola Tesla was ridiculed and ostracized for his genius. Harriet Tubman was hunted like an animal, her very existence a threat to the status quo. Van Gogh died penniless, mocked, and unappreciated, only for the world to later worship the very works he created in agony. Greatness, it seems, demands a blood sacrifice, not one you willingly offer, but one imposed upon you, unjust, merciless, and, to be brutally honest, sick beyond belief. Let's not romanticize what was done to you. It wasn't poetic, it wasn't noble, it was vile. The kind of cruelty that makes you question everything, your worth, your future, even your sanity. They tried to erase you before you even knew who you were. That's not just injustice, it's madness. And yet here you are, scarred but breathing, broken but unbowed, maybe even quietly laughing, because in their twisted attempts to destroy you, they handed you the one thing they feared most, a story that will make you unstoppable. So let's talk about it. If you've been wondering whether all the suffering means something, here's the truth. They didn't try so hard to break you for nothing. To be chosen sounds like a gift, something extraordinary, a destiny wrapped in glory and admiration. But the reality is far from glamorous. It is a path of isolation, pain, and relentless trials that few will ever understand. It is a paradox. You are set apart, yet cast aside. You are destined for greatness, yet forced to endure suffering so deep it makes you question why you were chosen at all. People see strength in you now. They admire your resilience, your ability to rise despite everything. But they don't see what it cost you. They don't see the nights you spent staring at the ceiling, hollow from exhaustion and betrayal. They don't hear the whispers of self-doubt that tried to convince you to give up. They don't feel the weight of the scars, both visible and invisible, that you carry every single day. Being chosen doesn't mean being the strongest. It means surviving when everything around you is designed to break you. It means enduring when the world gives you every reason to surrender. It is not a reward, it is a test, and it's a lonely one. Even those closest to you may not understand why your path is so much harder than theirs. They may call you unlucky, dramatic, or even cursed. They may wonder why suffering seems to follow you so relentlessly. But deep down, you know the truth. There is something different about you. Your trials are too specific, too calculated, as if the universe itself has singled you out for something far greater than the life you are living now. This is where the paradox deepens. On one hand, you feel an overwhelming sense of purpose, a pull toward something extraordinary. On the other, you are constantly being torn apart, pushed to your absolute limit, left to question if you will ever make it through. But what if this isn't punishment? What if it's preparation? What if the fire isn't meant to destroy you but to refine you? Because here's the cruelest truth. This is all leading somewhere. The suffering, the betrayals, the endless battles, they are not random. They are shaping you, molding you into someone who cannot be ignored, someone who cannot be broken. But there's only one requirement. You have to survive long enough to see it. Not all battles leave visible scars. Some wars are waged in silence, on your mind, your spirit, and your very sense of self. And those are the deadliest ones. What was done to you wasn't just a series of unfortunate events. It was a deliberate attempt to hollow you out, to make you doubt your worth, to break you in ways that left no evidence behind. There were no weapons, no battlefields, no physical wounds to show the world. But the damage, it was real. And in many ways, it was worse. They didn't need to destroy you physically. They wanted something far more insidious, to make you believe you were already defeated, to convince you that you were small, powerless, unworthy of rising above the pain. Every betrayal, every cruel word, every manipulation was a calculated strike against your identity. And the worst part? For a time, it worked. You questioned yourself. You overanalyzed every action, wondering if maybe, just maybe, it was all your fault. You carried guilt that was never yours to bear. You tried to be better, to shrink yourself, to fit into a mold that made others more comfortable. And yet, no matter how much you bent, it was never enough. Because the truth is, it was never about you. It was about control. The cruelty of this kind of warfare is that it goes unseen by the world. No one could see the battles raging inside you. To outsiders, you looked fine. You smiled. You carried on. You did what needed to be done. And in return, people called you strong, as if that was a compliment, as if they understood the price of your survival. But here's what they didn't count on. Even in an invisible war, you were stronger than they ever knew. Because despite everything, despite the weight of what was done to you, you are still here, breathing, fighting, refusing to be erased. And that alone proves one undeniable truth. They never really won. Much of what was done to you, the betrayals, the manipulation, the cruelty, wasn't random. It was driven by something dark, something people rarely admit to. Envy. Envy is a quiet sickness, one that hides behind smiles, fake encouragement, and seemingly innocent criticism. It disguises itself as concern, as advice, as harmless jokes, but beneath it all, it is a slow-burning desire to see you fail. Those who hurt you didn't do so without reason. They saw something in you, something they lacked but desperately wanted. Maybe it was your strength, your light, your ability to endure. Maybe it was your dreams, your potential, the way you refused to settle for an ordinary life. Whatever it was, it made them feel small in comparison. And instead of rising to meet their own potential, they chose the easier path, trying to destroy yours. But envy is rarely obvious. It whispers in the form of criticism. You're not good enough. It sabotages you through doubt. You'll never make it. It pretends to protect you. I just don't want you to get hurt. But none of it was ever about helping you. It was about keeping you small, keeping you from becoming the proof of what they could have been if they had dared to rise. And the most twisted part? How personal it felt. Their attacks weren't just about what you did. They were about who you are. They wanted to make you question yourself, to second-guess your abilities, to dim your light so they could feel comfortable in their own darkness. And for a while, maybe they succeeded. Maybe you did shrink yourself, silence your voice, hold back your dreams just to avoid making them uncomfortable. But here's the irony. Envy is self-destructive. While they wasted their energy trying to break you, you were forced to become stronger. While they were consumed by bitterness, you were growing, adapting, becoming someone they could never touch. They thought they were stopping you, but in reality, they were only refining you. Because the truth is, they never hated you. They hated themselves for not having what you had. And the more you rise, the more their sickness will eat away at them. But that is not your burden to carry. Your only responsibility is to keep going, to keep shining, keep rising, and prove, once and for all, that no amount of envy could ever destroy someone who was born to stand out. The universe does not hand out extraordinary roles to just anyone. Those who are destined for something greater must first be tested, broken down, stripped of everything familiar, and forced to face the deepest parts of themselves. These trials are not random. They are deliberate, designed to forge you into someone unbreakable. But let's be honest, there is nothing romantic about suffering. It is brutal, it is exhausting, and it often feels utterly unjustified. You didn't ask for this path, you didn't volunteer to be tested, and yet, time and time again, life has thrown you into the fire, demanding that you rise from the ashes with nothing but your own will to survive. This is not a punishment, it is preparation. Think of a blacksmith forging a sword. The metal must be subjected to intense heat, hammered relentlessly, and reshaped over and over again before it becomes something powerful. If the process were easy, the blade would be weak. If the fire were not hot enough, the metal would remain brittle. In the same way, the trials you endure are not meant to destroy you, but to strip away everything that is not truly you. Because here's the truth. Extraordinary strength is not given, it is earned. And the price of that strength is pain. These trials force you to confront the rawest version of yourself. Who are you when everything is taken away? What do you stand for when there is nothing left to hold on to? These are the questions the universe demands answers to before allowing you to step into the power that has always been meant for you. But the hardest part? Not everyone makes it through. Some get lost in the suffering, unable to see beyond the pain. Some give in to bitterness, resentment, or despair. The difference between those who remain trapped and those who rise is not luck. It is choice. The choice to keep going, to find meaning even in the darkest moments, to believe that there is something waiting on the other side of the fire. And if you are still standing, still fighting, then you are proving yourself worthy. Not to anyone else, but to yourself. Because one day, when the weight of these trials finally makes sense, you will see that every hardship, every heartbreak, every battle was shaping you for something greater than you could have ever imagined. One of the most insidious ways the world tries to keep you small is by making you doubt your own power. It starts early, often from those closest to you. Family, friends, teachers, people who should encourage you, but instead make you question your potential. They tell you to be humble, to be realistic, to not aim too high. But their warnings aren't about protecting you. They are about controlling you. The world does not like those who cannot be controlled. It rewards conformity, praises those who fit neatly into the system, and punishes anyone who dares to rise above it. The moment you begin to shine too brightly, the moment you start to believe in yourself, the system moves swiftly to put you back in your place. You are told that you are arrogant for dreaming big, difficult for refusing to settle, delusional for believing you are meant for something greater. And the most dangerous part? Over time, you start to believe it. This is how they gaslight your greatness. They convince you that your dreams are impossible, not because they are, but because the idea of you achieving them threatens their entire worldview. If you succeed, then what excuse do they have for not trying? If you break free, then what does that say about those who chose to remain in their cages? Rather than face those uncomfortable truths, they make you doubt yourself. And it works, until you finally see through the lie. Because here's the truth. The world does not gaslight what isn't a threat. If you were truly insignificant, they wouldn't work so hard to convince you that you are. If your potential didn't matter, they wouldn't feel the need to suppress it. The very fact that they try to make you doubt yourself is proof of how powerful you really are. And the moment you recognize this, the moment you stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable, is the moment you become unstoppable. So the question is, will you continue to believe the lies they've told you? Or will you finally embrace the power they've been trying so hard to make you forget? What you endured wasn't just cruelty. It was an attack on your very humanity. It wasn't enough for them to hurt you. They wanted to make you feel less than human. They wanted to strip away your dignity, your identity, your very sense of self. This wasn't just about pain. It was about erasure. Dehumanization doesn't always come in obvious forms. Sometimes it's in the way they dismissed your pain, treated your suffering as insignificant, made you feel invisible. It's in the way they acted as if your voice didn't matter, as if your feelings were an inconvenience. It's in the way they conditioned you to believe that you deserved less, that you weren't worthy of love, respect, or even basic kindness. Over time, this treatment seeps into your mind. You start to see yourself the way they wanted you to, small, powerless, unworthy. You begin to question your own worth, wondering if maybe they were right. That is the sickness of dehumanization. It is not just about making you suffer. It is about making you believe you deserve to suffer. But here's what they never understood. Dehumanization only works if you let it. They could take away your comfort, your security, even your hope for a time. But they could never fully erase what makes you you. Because no matter how much they tried to break you, there was always a part of you that refused to be destroyed. Rising from this kind of darkness is not easy. Healing doesn't happen overnight, but every step you take toward reclaiming your humanity is an act of defiance. It is proof that even the worst attempts to destroy someone can fail. They tried to erase you, but you are still here. And that is more powerful than anything they could have ever imagined. The people who tried to break you never expected you to rise. They threw everything at you. Manipulation, cruelty, isolation, believing it would be enough to shatter you. And for a time, maybe it worked. Maybe you fell. Maybe you doubted yourself. Maybe you even thought about giving up. But then, against all odds, you got back up. And that is what terrifies them the most. They can't understand how you're still standing, still fighting, still moving forward when they would have crumbled under the same weight. Your resilience exposes something they don't want to face, their own weakness. They needed to break you because deep down, they knew they could never endure what you have. And now, as they watch you rise, they are left with only one emotion: fear. Because your very existence proves them wrong. You were never weak. You were never meant to stay broken. And no matter how much they wanted to write your ending, they failed. You are still here. And that is your greatest victory. Thank you for being part of this journey. If these words resonated with you, if you feel the strength that has always been within you, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Here we rise together. Here we turn pain into power. Let's keep going, because the world hasn't seen the best of you yet.